Zubin, thank you. The Houston Cougars, some of these guys who are celebrating senior night tonight got here for their first year. They are sixth-year guys. They got here their first year just after the Peach Bowl victory against Florida State in 2015. They've endured 3 different head coaches, couple of coaching changes, and now they have one of the longest win streaks in the FBS at 9 games, the 4th longest win streak in college football, as we welcome you to ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by Ram Trucks. You're watching the American Conference on ESPN. Houston is going to the American Conference Championship game, and Houston is also in for a fight tonight against rival Memphis. Maybe literally, considering what we saw pregame down on the field, 2 separate little mini scuffles way before kickoff. So you're going to want to stick around for this ball game all night long. We never know what we're going to see in this rivalry. We thank you for joining us. Andre Ware, Jason Benetti, Paul Carcaterra is downstairs. You were on the field during that earlier.
Yeah, I saw it. The heated exchange right up next to it. Some guys were ready to get it on, and it was hours before. So we're in for a treat tonight.
You would think so. Houston, if you haven't seen him, they've won 9 in a row. Their freshman tailback, Alton McCaskill, is dynamic.
Yeah, he really is. He's a special talent and a guy that has breakaway speed. He can run between the tackles. When he needs to get skinny and get in, just a sliver of daylight, he can do that and get himself into the end zone. 14 touchdown runs already this year. He's averaging about 5 yards a carry as a true freshman, going to get better. And I think as Houston moves into the Big 12, we're going to talk about his name attached to a lot of national awards down the road.
Meantime, for Memphis, they're trying to get bowl eligible after a loss last week in overtime. Seth Hennigan, their quarterback, is really talented.
Yeah, he's talented and he's a winner. 39-2 as a high school football player, played for his dad. But he's got all the intangibles that you look for from that position. Ball placement, accuracy, getting the ball out on time, really understands what Memphis does in the passing game. And came in averaging about 308 passing yards per game. He gets it done with Memphis in this offense.
Since Sean Farnham promoted virtual locks at halftime, I will tell you that both of these schools are in the top 15 in college basketball. But we got football coming up next. We've heard a lot about Cincinnati being unbeaten and trying to get into the college football playoff. The one team we know will be in the American Conference Championship game is this team. These fans are supporting tonight the Houston Cougars, who have won 9 in a row since losing to Texas Tech in their opener. One of the hottest teams in college football here in H-Town. And Memphis will get the ball first. Houston won the toss, decided to let its defense on the field first.
They have been spectacular under the watch of Doug Belk, their defensive coordinator.
Off we go. Football on a Friday night in the American Conference. Memphis will have it first, and they will go ahead and return the kick and get the ball right around the regular position. Gabe Rogers with the return, and downstairs to Paul Carcaterra.
Well, Andre, moments ago, you hit on a lot of great points about Memphis quarterback Seth Hennigan. And when you dive into his past and you talk to people around the program, it's obvious this kid is not your typical freshman. In high school, he was a 4.0 student. And he's got the pedigree as well. He played for his father, Dave, at Denton Ryan in Texas, where they went 15-0 and won a state title. Being a coach's son, they talk ball every single day growing up. He picks up on concepts and dissects a defense like a senior would. Offensive coordinator Kevin John told me the whole playbook has been at Seth's disposal since the beginning of the season.
That is high praise considering what they did with Brady White, but he just met Sack Avenue. Derek Parrish and Logan Hall got in there. That's what they called his defensive line, and a trip down Sack Avenue on the first play.
Yeah, and the amazing thing about it is they don't blitz a lot. They just bring 4, and it's 4 collapsing the pocket. Logan Hall there, able to collapse things around Seth Hennigan.
See if that quickens the pace of his internal clock, as this is going to be a run on a little trickery on the end around, and it all the way gets to the 40-yard line with Gabriel Rogers on a gain of 22.
That was a nice play fake by Hennigan, and they're going to go right to the line of scrimmage, try to wear down this Cougar defense here early. Got an injured Cougar down along the sideline. It'll be Jace Rogers, one of the corners. They will play as many as 30 players on defense. Will rotate in and out. They'll rotate 3 or so defensive linemen. Linebackers will rotate. You'll have corners that will move to safety. They'll move inside over the slots. I'm telling you, it's some things that I haven't seen in football that Doug Belk is able to do with his personnel.
Yeah, really up-and-coming coach in college football, Doug Belk, who's taken over as the defensive coordinator and assistant head coach. So Memphis with a 22-yard hit, and this is a big game for the Tigers, who went into overtime against ECU last week, went 4-2 on the final play of the game and did not get it. Rodriguez Clark on the run, and Clark barreling into Houston territory for a first down.
Yeah, he's in tonight for Brandon Thomas, who's out with an injury, who's their starting running back, but they're going right at this aggressive front of Houston.
And once again, now to the 45-yard line. Clark didn't get a whole bunch of carries last week, but he did have the touchdown in overtime that set up the 2-point conversion down the stretch.
Yeah, he's a good back. 6 foot, about 200 pounds, and kind of a combination of Thomas and Weaver in this Memphis set.
They have had some great tailbacks.
Yes, they have.
Gainwell, Williams, etc. Hennigan to throw, a little bit high and reeled in anyway across the 35 by Javon Ivory. It's a first down, Memphis.
Yeah, Ivory has just kind of been slowly coming along. They need him with Calvin Austin nursing an ankle in tonight's game. Going to use him more as a vertical threat throughout the evening, but they're waiting on Ivory to step up along with the number 18, Eddie Lewis.
In a couple weeks with that ankle for Austin, and we'll see how they handle him tonight. But after the opening play sack, a strong drive for Memphis so far as Clark's hit by Donovan Mutin, the ultra-talented linebacker who they missed so much last year when he was hurt.
Yeah, he's the leader on this defense, and a guy that just makes all the calls, leads the team in tackles with 61 coming into tonight's game. Just really controls things and gets everybody lined up.
Here comes that defensive line. It's a screen for Asa Martin, and it's undercut by the Cougars. And again, Mutin helped break it up as we have an injured party down for the Cougars again. It looks like it is Donovan Mutin. We'll check on Mutin when we come back. Memphis ball on its opening drive tonight. The Houston athletic training staff is still working on Donovan Mutin, who is down for the Houston Cougars. His teammates, as you see, have gotten together. Many of them are down on a knee over on the sideline. The team huddled up and got together with one another, and you see the concern on the Memphis sideline as well for the extremely talented linebacker Donovan Mutin out of Spring, Texas. And as the trainers continue to help him and work on him as he is down on the field, we will step aside again. Donovan Mutin, the linebacker for Houston, is injured, and we will step aside and we'll get you an update as soon as we have one. Donovan Mutin is still down and injured, the Houston Cougars linebacker, as he's surrounded by his teammates and the training staff here at Houston. And Andre, you and I, before the BYU Houston game last year, got a chance to sit down and talk to Donovan Mutin.
Yeah, just an inspirational guy, loves to play the game, and his family in this area having to relocate from Louisiana after Katrina, and means so much to this Houston football community, that this team in particular, and the coaches. His leadership is second to none in their locker room.
Originally from the 7th Ward, New Orleans. Family moved here after Hurricane Katrina. And Donovan Mutin, just an engaging, top-flight young man. And we are all sitting here in basically a silent stadium hoping for the best. Cougar paws in the air from fans. And again, when we have an update, we will provide it, as Donovan Mutin has been down since the play where he was injured. And you see the concern on the face of his teammates. But
yeah, he's not only the leader of this defense for Doug Belk, he's one of the leaders of this entire team, which is why his teammates are so concerned. Obviously, the respect from the Memphis side of things. They know what they've watched and faced with Donovan Mutin the last couple of years. Has been an consistent every down player for the last 2 years on this defense.
We are going to head into the studio and toss it to Matt Berry while we await word on Donovan Mutin's condition. We are hoping for the best. We will get you an update when we know. For now, Matt Berry inside our studio. Matt.
All right, Jason Benetti, thank you so much. Joey Galloway, Matt Berry alongside. It is so difficult at this point of the season, or any point of the season, when you're getting ready to play a football game and you see one of your teammates laying there on the field. Again, we will keep you updated on the situation in Houston as soon as we get the details as they warrant. You talk about a big game in the American. Houston has already clinched that spot in the American Championship game. They were ranked by the College Football Playoff Committee for the first time this week. That bodes well for Cincinnati. This game that they have against SMU tomorrow, we circled November 20th on the calendar because at that point we thought SMU perhaps could be ranked. But this is a big one for the Bearcats on Saturday, 3:30 Eastern, ESPN.
It is, and we circled a couple things on that Bearcats schedule this year, and it was Indiana at Indiana. They're not the Indiana we expected. Now it's SMU, not the SMU we expected to see this season. But it's still a big game, and a game that Cincinnati needs to come out, play well. Against USF, they gave up 21 points in the second half. They better not do that against an SMU team that can actually beat them.
They've got Tanner Mordecai. They've got a lot of talent on that side of the ball. So really defensively for Cincinnati, we've been waiting to see over the past couple of weeks. They didn't get it against Navy. They didn't get it against Tulane. They didn't get it against Tulsa, although they were pushing those games. They get a real top-flight offense for us to have a look at that Luke Fickell defense again. Yeah, and I think at times, and we've watched this Cincinnati team, and they've played these close games, and they get a lead, and we expect that defense to close out the game, to shut down the other team. They hadn't been able to get those key stops. We've seen plays at end of games. I think it was Tulsa or Tulane. It was Tulsa.
Yeah, reach it across, and they end up not being a touchdown. Yep. But that's way too close for comfort for a team like Cincinnati, ranked at number 5, that everyone's talking about, has a chance to be in the playoff. They need to be able to go into these games against these unranked opponents and win handily. I don't like to say style points because Coach Fickell doesn't.
He's not in.
Robinson, the junior from Snellville, Georgia, junior college transfer from Fort Scott in for Donovan Mutin.
And now suddenly you just have to get right back to it on a 3rd down. It's Rodriguez Clark, and he's going nowhere. Hugged down by Parrish. It's a loss of 6.
Logan Hall, Parrish, both guys push in the pocket, and it just seemed like was the timing of this draw play was thrown off, and it allowed the defensive front, the front 4 from Houston again, to collapse things around the running back Clark. Gonna go for it here on 4th down.
4th and 16. Memphis is going to go for it. Now they got a false start, so they may not be going for anything. Dale, the right tackle.
False start. Offense, number 75. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
So how do you jump right back into this, Andre? I mean, really, like as a football player, how do you do it?
It's tough, Jason, especially if you're on the Houston sideline. That's a guy that you've seen consistently lead this football team each and every day. It's tough. It really is to put it in the back of your mind, and you still have a game to play, but then you kind of dedicate the game to him. And you're playing for Donovan right now.
Jones back to receive, and it's a fair catch. So Houston gets it for the first time. As we check out tonight's player spotlight, brought to you by Tide, it is Clayton Tune, the junior quarterback, who has gone 166 passes without a pick.
Yeah, and it's been outstanding. You see the completion percentage up around 70%, fourth in the American in passing yards, the 21 touchdowns. Both he and Seth Hennigan have 21 touchdown passes, 6 interceptions, but he has been spectacular. Against South Florida a couple of weeks ago, he was 80% through the air. Playing some good football.
His resilient mind is a major reason Houston has won 9 in a row. After a tough opener for him, he has bounced back just beautifully. And he will throw his first pass. It's to McCaskill, the freshman we told you about. And there's the agility already down the sideline for McCaskill on a gain of 8.
Yeah, with Tune, it's been well documented, the hamstring injury. And they weren't able to run him early in the season, but it made him a better quarterback because it forced him to sit in the pocket and go through his progressions. And I think the entire offense are paying dividends because of it.
Tune again to the sideline, and that's incomplete. His first couple passes last week against Temple were erratic, and then he really turned it up with this offense to get near 40.
He did. 22 touchdown passes in that, 224 yards against Temple.
3rd down and 1. McCaskill, door number 1 was closed. He leans forward, and he does have the first down for Houston.
Well, that's the strength that you don't expect from a true freshman. This kid could have gone anywhere in the country. He's being recruited by Alabama, Auburn, Florida State, Michigan, Notre Dame, Penn State. They all fell in love with McCaskill, and he decided to stay close to home where his mother could see him play. And he is some kind of talent.
He's got an Oak Ridge High School in Conroe, and now he's in motion. Tune spins it out for Nathaniel Tank Dell on his first catch and a gain of 8.
When you have McCaskill, who is an excellent receiver out of the backfield, you've got a quarterback that's mobile, that can run, and Dell is the glue that kind of puts it all together because he can work the middle of the field as well as go outside and make plays.
Under-recruited because he was a smaller guy, and again that has paid off very well for a team in college football as Tune goes diving head first, and it's going to be very close. 3rd and about half a yard, it looks like, depending on the spot.
And so when you have all those ingredients that I just described, it makes you a tough offense to stop. And I haven't even gotten into the tight end that's checking in, Christian Trahan, that is an excellent receiving tight end. A big body. They love to utilize him down in the inside the red zone. This is a complete offensive unit for Dana Holgorsen.
They added the transfer Seth Green out of Minnesota, who was a Wildcat quarterback for P.J. Fleck, and they're both in. Both tight ends are in. And they'll keep it on the ground. McCaskill, nicely done to pick his way over left tackle for a first down.
What a patience by the true freshman. Just waiting it out, guys setting the blocks, and then he finds just a crease to pick up the first down. There's just really nothing there initially, and he just allows blocks to set themselves and accelerate, pick up the first down. That's a nice run there by the freshman McCaskill.
Yeah, no panic at all.
Usually the patience is just hit it up in there, but there's no panic from him.
Tune first down throw. It's a crossing pattern, and he's got a completion across the 35-yard line to Tayson Henry, the second tailback, the transfer from Texas Tech.
There's a defender there to make a play on it. I want to say it was J.J. Russell there, kind of do-it-all linebacker from Memphis, but unable to make the tackle.
At 23, J.J. Russell is all over the tape when you watch the Memphis Tigers. Tune, a lot of time. Now the pocket collapses. He throws it out wide and has another completion, this time to Jeremy Singleton, and it's a first down for the Cougars.
Well, you give Clayton Tune that kind of time with receivers like Dell and Singleton, Herslow, somebody's going to get open. And usually it's Dell behind the secondary when plays break down. Because of his speed, he's got a very high football IQ. But the rest of these guys complement one another very, very well.
About 8 yards of completion, 4 for 5 for Toon. That's Henry in motion. And Toon under pressure, cannot get away. He is sacked. Maurice White had the initial pressure for Memphis on a loss of 9.
Yeah, White, Big John Tate, who's an excellent pass rusher from the nose tackle position. Good quickness, strength, and just kind of plays through a double team. And Clayton Toon really just kind of comes right to Big John Tate and Maurice White.
Andre, I'm just going to say this. There's still sort of an eerie feeling over the stadium. This was...
yeah, you have an excellent player in person exited the stadium a little bit earlier than certainly everybody anticipated.
Toon to throw, threads it through nicely across the 45-yard line to that tight end Trahan you were talking about.
He is an excellent route runner, big target that just kind of shows Memphis plays zone there, and Trahan's able to just show the 8 and the 5 to Toon, who is on time. If he's a little bit later with that, it's either knocked down or intercepted, but the timing was perfect.
Thomas Pickens tried to hustle the timing with the pressure again, but Toon was on the money.
Yeah, that's a big down defensively for Memphis. As you get past midfield, it's 4-down territory for the Cougars, so they need to figure out a way here to stop the Cougs on 3rd down.
Toon climbing the pocket. Clayton Toon scanning. Toon throws it and has the completion across the 45. Now the question was, he was right around the line of scrimmage when he threw that ball. There's a flag down back at the 37 as well as Dell made the catch.
Yeah, you're going to have a hold against Patrick Paul, the left tackle.
Holding. Offense. Number 76. 10 yards. Your previous spot. Still 3rd down.
There it is. From Hank Johns, our referee.
Jalen Allen is screaming thank you. We can hear him all the way up to the press box. He's holding me. And he's kind of got him around the neck, a little high in his pass set there on Mr. Allen.
A little high. He had him in the Ted DiBiase $1 Million Dream.
Yeah,
Andre.
little wrestling move.
Yeah, a little bit.
Once again, 3rd down, and certainly Memphis, with that penalty, helped its cause. So many times you see guys play zone and they back off, and all of a sudden it's 4th down and about 5, where it gives the opponent a chance to go for it again.
Toon again, nice coverage again for Memphis, at least through the initial part of that play. But Singleton sat down and found 20 on a 3rd and 19.
Yeah, just too deep of zone drops. And so it allows for the receiver to get down the field deep enough to the marker and no pass rush. So Clayton Toon had all day to allow Jeremy Singleton to get down the field.
They will run it on 1st down, and McCaskill gets about a yard. Boy, the post play pushing and shoving definitely still exists after what we saw at the beginning of this game.
Yeah, this has turned into kind of a rivalry game, and certainly it's favored Memphis the last, 5 years. 5 in a row they've won against this Cougar team. So they come in with some confidence that they can get the job done on the road this season.
That's been all Memphis last half-decade. This is wide by Toon, looking for the senior Herslow, and it's 3rd and 9 for the Cougars.
Let's go back and take a look at that big 3rd down play. The pass completion from Toon to Singleton. Big, deep zone drops, everybody backing out, no pass rush. So he's got all day to throw. That allows routes to develop down the field, and it's a big area to hit a big receiver at 6 foot, about 185 pounds. Singleton did a nice job of finding the down and distance mark.
Quindell Johnson was playing safety about 15 yards behind that throw.
Yeah. Yep.
Houston 3 for 3 on 3rd down so far. They're 3rd and 9 here. Toon for Dell. He stops, and he is 2 yards short of the 1st down. This is a go for it, right?
Dana Holgerson won't even, hesitate in this situation. Hot offense. It's 4th down and short. You're well across midfield. Offense is certainly going to stay out there. They've been pretty good on 4th down. 76% on 4th downs this year. 13 of 17 in terms of conversion rate.
That is top 5 in the FBS. We're going to go 2 tight ends here on 4th down and 2 as the play clock winds down to 6. Tune fakes the pitch, runs it himself. Tune driving the legs, and Clayton Tune is there for the first down.
Well, that's what a healthy Clayton Tune brings to this offense. And John Tate got there, but a healthy Clayton Tune can make plays like this. He knew exactly where he needed to get to. He got some push and help from his offensive line, but that hamstring's got to be feeling pretty good right about now.
Yeah, they finally last week started calling quarterback runs again, design runs, and they're very willing to go with Clayton Tune on a 4th down. Another 4-man rush that never gets there, and Tune diving to the 34 with Russell in pursuit.
Yeah, they're going to have to basically spy Clayton Tune. If you're going to rush 3 and drop 8, somebody's going to have to spy the quarterback, because everybody's dropping in the coverage. All he's got to do is wait for the rush to pass him by and then step up into the pocket. If nobody's there, tuck it and run, get down and protect yourself, and they can make a living doing that tonight.
It's a 16, now 17 play drive for the Houston Cougars. Tune scanning. He throws it low. And incomplete. You guys, when you were here, you guys scored like 4 points. There was 16, 17 play drives.
16 plays. Were we on the 1-yard line? We had some guys that could catch it short and turn short ones into long ones.
8:53 off the clock.
And this, kind of, as long as you're moving the football, it's okay. Got to convert.
3rd down, pressure gets there. Tune eludes it. And now he gets by a second opportunity. Down at the 29 and flag down.
And it's going to be another holding call on Patrick Paul working against John Tate, the nose tackle. So this one's coming back. It happened right around about the 38-yard line or so.
Now Tune's hurt.
Offense, number 76. 10 yards from the previous spot. Still 3rd down.
So now Clayton Tune is down on a knee.
He's up, moving around, but he's going to come out for at least 1 play here as the clock stopped because he was down. I just wonder if it's that hamstring reoccurring. Oh, he's reaching for his left shoulder.
So here's Ike Abagu, who's thrown 32 passes this year in relief of Clayton Tune with that hamstring injury.
Man, he's looked good at times. Smart guy. No, they don't have to change anything when he comes into the game.
He's going to run on 3rd down and 17 and try and get him in field goal range here, down at the 33. Joseph on the tackle for Memphis, and
this will be somewhere around 50, right around 50-yard field goal. And Dalton Witherspoon, when we talked to Dana Holgerson and inquired about his range, he said, I'm comfortable with him up to about 50. And he hit a 50-yarder against SMU a couple of weeks ago.
That is his long on the year, is the 50. We are under a minute in this first quarter. And Witherspoon misses. So, still scoreless. Memphis will get it back after a 10-minute drive.
ESPN College Football Primetime is presented by Ram Trucks, J.D. Power's #1 brand in new vehicle quality.
We'll get to all this in a minute.
Who's
but
that young skinny kid?
I know, right? We'll get to that in a second. First down to Clark for an update on Donovan Mutin.
Well, Jason, we saw Houston leading tackler Donovan Mutin leave the field. He has since entered an ambulance which has departed. Medical officials told me he's headed to Memorial Hermann Medical Center, which is about 10 minutes away. This is a tough scene, and thoughts and prayers are with Donovan, his family, some in attendance. They were with him in the tunnel as well, and this Houston program as a whole. This is a great kid. He does everything right for this program, and when you think of college football and what's right about college football, you think of guys like Donovan Newton. He's a leader on and off the field in the community, and everyone just says so many positive things about him, and if I get some more updates, I'll certainly share them.
Well said, Cart. Really
Well
appreciate
said.
the update. And we're thinking about Donovan Newton and his family. As you saw the catch by Calvin Austin to set up the first down on the gain across midfield. First catch for Austin. Second down after the Clark run, Brandon Thomas, or Clark run, I should say. So 2nd and 7. And a whistle. Thomas out today, but our stat monitor thought it was Thomas.
You were talking about that drive of Houston. 19 plays, 10 minutes, 5 seconds, and it resulted in no points.
He set the game clock to 1 second before the time expired. False start. Offense, number 75. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Big Matt Dale's got to sit in there. Big, athletic, really strong, 5th-year senior, but a couple of false start penalties, and I saw him look back at Seth Hennigan after the first one. Oh, he's pointing the finger at him this one.
Quarterbacks love that.
Hey, sit in there. Yeah, well, at some point, you kind of got to rattle his cage a little bit.
That young man wearing 11 in Cougar stuff wasn't going to point at right tackles, I'll tell you that much, as we saw earlier.
First quarter over, no score, Memphis and Houston in the American Conference. Hey, coming up tomorrow in the Midwest, Ohio State and Michigan State, just an absolutely enormous game. Noon Eastern on ABC, 9 Pacific, the ESPN app as well. You feeling upset?
I got number 7 tomorrow in that one.
Really?
Yeah, bounce back. Bounce back for the Spartans.
Ooh, I don't know. CJ Stroud and Ohio State, I'm going to go against you there, but you're usually right. So just text me tomorrow at like 3:30 and tell me I'm wrong. Thanks.
You know I will.
Oh, you absolutely will. I would have it no other way. Here's Hennigan on the run. He slides, and he's down right around midfield.
Close by Alex Hogan. As he was sliding, you can't contact. You got to figure out a way to miss him. And here comes that substitution pattern. There's about 6, 7 Cougars coming off, and here comes the 3rd down package for this Cougar defense.
Hennigan was reaching for his knee after that play, by the way. Young Seth Hennigan. We'll see how many Houston rushes. They come with 5 on a delay. Hennigan down the sideline and incomplete for Ivory.
And Ivory had to turn into a defensive back because Art Green had excellent coverage on him. Ball's thrown inside, and boy, Hennigan looks like, you're right, he's still limping a little bit. He missed the UCF game that we had and just kind of awkwardly slid and got his leg caught in the turf.
That was actually a good job as we watch it again by Hogan to not hit him on that slide. And they get there and they blocked it. So Jones won't have a chance to return because Houston absolutely hammered the punt.
There's one of about 4 red jerseys that could have blocked it. And this is, if you're Dana Holgerson, the time to go up top. Where is Nathaniel Dale right about now when you get the football here offensively? But there was a jailbreak of about 4 Cougars, and it looked like the punter, Joe Doyle, was a little bit shallow in his alignment, which would get the onslaught of rushers there even faster. He looked like, you know, instead of the normal, 13 yards or so, he was way up about 10.
And Ja'Cory Morgan got in there to block the punt. So now Houston from around the 35, short field for the Cougars, and they're going to go ahead and run. It's McCaskill right down the boulevard for 6.
Unbelievable talent. I am telling you, Jason Benetti, in a year or so, this young man's going to be on every national award list that there is. He is that good. Had him stop dead to rights in the backfield, and then all of a sudden the patience shown by McCaskill. Nice move, and then it's a foot race, and you're not going to catch him from behind.
Tell you what, Zay Collins had him squared up, and McCaskill took him to dance class.
Left him standing there, still reaching for him. Ooh. 6 touchdown runs in his last 2 games. That includes tonight. McCaskill, all he needs is a sliver of daylight. You are not going to track him down from behind.
Couple hours, it's going to be Saturday. We're going to start you off with Michigan State, Ohio State, Clemson trying to upset the Fighting Dave Clawsons. Big one in the American, SMU, Cincinnati, and for me, Oregon's on upset alert in Salt Lake City.
Yeah, that's the one I'm watching. 3:30, SMU, Cincinnati. Tell how the American's going to shake out. Will have a lot to do with it.
Cincinnati with a win will be in the American Conference Championship game against the Houston Cougars, who play Connecticut, the future Fighting Jim Moras, next week.
The future fighting.
Yeah. Rogers back to return for Memphis. And he is across the 20, and that's all. Downstairs, Cart.
Yeah, I've been monitoring Seth Hennigan, the Memphis quarterback, and the lower body injury. He was on the bike. He's moving around. He's throwing with backup Peter Parrish, Andre, who we saw against UCF. And Hennigan's had some injuries this season. He had the shoulder that he missed the UCF game. He left the Navy game prematurely in the 4th quarter with a hand injury as well. And keep in mind, he's an 18-year-old true freshman. He's an early enrollee. The speed, the physicality of the game of football at the college level, even though he played incredible Texas high school football, the hits, they're a lot harder when you're playing with the big boys, Andre.
No doubt about it. And he's taken a couple of shots here early. The one he came up limping on was just a slide, routine slide that got that shoe caught in the turf.
They will run it with the tight end, Dykes. Very talented Sean Dykes, the tight end for Memphis. Is Clark saying that the hits at Dickinson High School weren't that big?
They were big, and rooting my Gators on tonight. I got a chance to go down and visit my high school today at the pep rally. They're up 14-0 at halftime, so big night for them.
That's big news as Hennigan drills it on a slant across the 35-yard line to Austin. So Calvin Austin on a gain of 12. You mentioned it. He's dealing with the ankle injury this week. Still a big factor.
Yeah, and he had some matchup last year with Marcus Jones.
Clark on the run, gain of 5. Yeah, that was fun to watch. And they jockeyed back and forth that entire game.
But yeah, it almost got personal where one snap Austin would win, Marcus Jones would come back the next snap. It was these two talented, very talented players.
We'll run it with Clark again on 2nd down, and he's going to be about 2 yards short of the marker. So 3rd down and 2. Hassan Hippolyte, the safety on the stop.
This is where they kind of missed Brandon Thomas, who was kind of there they could play in every aspect. Short yardage. He was a 3-down back that was really, really dependable. Their leading rusher with just right around 670 yards.
Michael Neal was doing some jawing there with an offensive lineman for Memphis. On 3rd down, it's another run, and it's a 1st down for Clark for Memphis.
I thought Parrish may have lined up in the neutral zone. He was, if not past the ball, certainly even with it. Crowd in the line of scrimmage, but Clark comes in, is able to move the chains for Memphis.
Yeah, you're right.
He is close,
right at the line. I mean, his arm was dangling right around the 50. Hennigan to throw to the sideline. It goes, and this is incomplete, out of bounds for Kai Matthew, the freshman, defended by Marcus Jones.
Yeah, not too much is going to get by Marcus Jones. Excellent speed, He's got quick twitch where he can recover quickly, and this has excellent cover skills. You can play him anywhere in the secondary. You can line up in the slot. You'll see him there at some point tonight, out wide, and then they'll move him to safety on the back end where he can really thump when he comes up.
A total ball hawk. Houston read screen very well. Beautifully so, and dropped at the 46-yard line. It's a loss of 4. Deontay Anderson got in there to blow it up.
Boy, that's formation recognition, and it's all the way down to the defensive line. They feel it, and so therefore they lay off, rally up to the football, and it's a nice play by Anderson, the linebacker, making a heck of a stop behind the line of scrimmage. Now they got the rush daddies on the field.
Yeah, DeAnthony Jones down at the bottom, raring to go, licking his chops. Here he comes. It's another screen, and this is going absolutely nowhere.
Manny Nunnery, one of those linebackers. They say he may be the more talented of all of them, and he's just a redshirt freshman out of Pearland, Texas. Shadow Creek High School, which is an excellent program in this area. And speed to burn. He's an excellent blitzer that they like to use in their blitz package when they blitz, because you don't see them blitz a whole lot because they get so much pressure with just the front four.
The Shakespeare line is a take thee to a nunnery, but nunnery takes himself to use sometimes. Flip it on the old Bart there. Jones back to receive, and this punt does get away. It is a fair catch inside the 10. Houston will have yet another long field after a 10-minute drive earlier. We'll see what the Cougars do with this touch when we come back. Week 11 NFL Sunday, 10 a.m. Eastern. Sunday Countdown crew on ESPN and the app go inside the lines with Dak Prescott before he faces off with Patrick Mahomes. Kevin Hart is there from Philly in early breaking stories and injury updates. And then that leads up to Sunday into Monday. Monday Night Football, it's Daniel Jones of the Giants. Saquon Barkley likely back for the Giants against the Bucs, who've lost a couple in a row, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and the ESPN app. Coverage starts Monday Night Countdown, 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific.
Way out on a limb. Pick the Bucs in that one.
Oh, careful. Careful with your footing there. Yeah, what
way out
one
on
of the
limb.
flying Walendas now? I mean,
2 in a row. Yeah, they take care of business against the Giants.
Yeah, I think so. But there's an opportunity at the bottom of the NFC, by the way. If the Giants could just win a couple straight, you never know. Clayton Tune back in the end zone now, and he has to uncork down the sideline, and it's incomplete, looking for Singleton.
He retreats into the end zone. Some confidence that he's going to be able to get that ball out. Because you're thinking, as soon as he bubbles back and he's well into the end zone, you're thinking, don't get hit back there if you're Dana Holgorsen, and all of a sudden the result's a safety.
Well, I know one person that was thinking that. And he's doing a game tomorrow. It's Dan Orlovsky. Every time somebody goes to the end zone, I think of Dan Orlovsky, our guy. Hi, Dan. Wonder if he's watching our telecast tonight. McCaskill had the touchdown on the last drive on his longest run of the year, and this does not go for much. Maurice White stops him downstairs. Carson.
You know, he doesn't look like a freshman. He doesn't act like a freshman. That's what Dana Holgorsen said to us this week about Alton McCaskill. Field level, he doesn't run like a freshman either. He's a 10-400 guy. He had over 30 offers his senior year in terms of where he wanted to go play college football. The thing that's crazy to me, Andre, he was ranked by ESPN as a 4-star, but the 32nd ranked running back in the country. You're going to tell me there's 32 better running backs in high school last year than this kid?
Not built 6'1", 210 pounds with breakaway speed. No way.
Tune on the move on 3rd down. Cross his body. Got it to Henry, and a first down for Houston.
Oh, a nice job by Clayton Tune of getting himself out of harm's way, and then shows some athletic ability, as you mentioned, throwing across his body, rolling left, throwing back right. I mean, they had him here almost dead to rights, and it's a nice job of just kind of controlling your body well enough to throw the completion to Dell, and he is so good off schedule.
Clayton Tune loves the pressure, too. I mean, he's talked about how difficult it was, how much he still hears about that Texas Tech game from earlier this year. And now it's Henry cutting it upfield across the 30. There were 2 picks in that game for Clayton Tune, and since then, he's been one of the most accurate passers in the FBS.
Yeah, and Nathaniel Dell is down after throwing one heck of a block for Henry. It basically freed him up to that 9-yard gain, but he's still down after throwing the block. He's not a big guy.
We'll check on Dell when we come back. You're watching ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by Ram Trucks. How did we not find anybody in the crowd wearing those number 11 shirts that they're giving out tonight? Those are keepsakes.
Yeah, they are. I'll go home with a couple.
Yeah, like 15. Right, you're not.
Hey, get you and Carr cooked up, man.
Yeah, we have not seen our Andre wear 11 shirts. As, by the way, Dell walked off to the sideline. He is out for now, but looks okay. And McCaskill, the tailback.
Oh, nice.
Man,
nice run.
He invites contact and then absorbs contact.
Well, he's taller, as we mentioned, at 6'1", so you think, well, he's got this upright running style. Yes, he does, but when he engages the line of scrimmage, it's great pad level.
Here he is again. The hesitation, the vision. Cart?
Yeah, Andre, you know I want to rep my boy, and I'll wear a number 11 in red. I'll take a size large, the Big Cat Youth Medium.
Okay. Have a name.
Oh, you became the Big Cat.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, into the start of back in the start of the season, right?
Yeah, that was week 3.
Yep.
Big Cat Brian and UCF.
It stuck.
Yeah, it sure did. You say stuck or stunk?
You know, it
I
stuck.
couldn't hear you clearly.
It stuck.
3rd down coming up for Houston.
You're now forever Big Cat.
Look, well, when Cart showed up at the airport with the Dre and Big Cat sign in his window.
I just about lost it.
That was.
All I could do was bend over, put my hands on my knees and get my laugh on, and then get in the car.
We have a great time doing Friday Night Football together. Clayton Tune under pressure, got it off just in time with Joseph bearing down on him, and a marker comes in on the play.
Yeah, Peyton Sawyer was the intended receiver. He draws the flag there, and he's going to give the Cougs a first down.
Pass interference. Defense, number 23. Ball be placed, spotted the foul, automatic first down.
Just penalties on both offense. The false starts. Now there, pass interference by the Tigers and J.J. Russell.
You think?
Yeah, just a little bit. How about a handful of jersey and the wrap of the right hand around him?
I agree. Second look said interference. First down for Houston. Tune down the middle, and was it caught? It is incomplete. Incomplete for Herslow, and it's second down.
Tell you what, Cameron Johnson picked up one heck of a blitzer, or a block on a blitz, and protected Tune. That's a nice play on the back end by Johnson, one of the safeties for Memphis, but that gave Tune the time necessary to even get the ball out.
Second down, this is Henry. Just to midfield, it'll be a third down and about 6 for the Houston Cougars, under 7 to go here in the first half.
And Henry's a nice compliment to McCaskill. He broke 197 yards against South Florida a couple of weeks ago. 130 yards in that game rushing. He's a guy that they have a nice 1-2 punch, a big, physical, fast back, and more of a change of pace back with Henry.
Henry, nice pickup of the blitz to allow for this to go to Singleton. Down the sideline, Singleton inside the 20. And a first down for Houston on a hit of 31, but Henry made that happen.
Yeah, no doubt about it. You know, I love the guys that do the dirty work, and they should get recognized. The blitz pickup by Henry was excellent across the formation and just in time to give Clayton Tune what was necessary to get the ball out to Singleton. Love the guys that do the unselfish stuff and don't just sit back and wait on carries or passes to be thrown their way.
Tune, end zone, over the shoulder, Dell. What a catch!
When I thought for just a split second that Tune had led him up the field instead of to the corner to flatten him out because the defender was there, but he'd beaten him so badly that he could adjust to the football, and that's just one heck of a catch. That is making your quarterback look good. Got behind Lindsey on the back end, but this is a special player.
They called him Tank when he was young because he had a big hit. Now he's just a really talented dude that deserves to be called Tank. Houston by 2 scores, Greg.
A little corner route with an underneath and a heck of an adjustment by Dell to put the Cougars up 14-0.
Houston off the touchdown by Dell, up 14-0. 2 shorter guys and huge numbers.
Yeah, but they play big. You look at Calvin Austin leading the American in receiving. That's on 67 or so catches. And Dell not far behind, who's, you go tell of the tape, he's got the lead in this one so far with that touchdown catch. They've got to find a way, Memphis, to get the ball into the hands of their talented receiver, Calvin Austin.
Remember last year on Friday nights we had like 5 straight weeks of guys who were under 6 foot, really strong receivers, and I got on that kick of like asking coaches, why do these guys get missed? I was salty by week 5 of that, by the way. As a short guy myself, I want these guys to get recognized. So yes, it's a major point of contention over here in the booth. Now let's tell you about the game coming up on Saturday. It's tomorrow. It's noon Eastern. It's 7 and 4. 2 top 7 teams, the promo could say, in Columbus. Michigan State and Ohio State. You said earlier, and it's noon Eastern on ABC. You said earlier, it's on ABC and the ESPN app.
Yes.
You said Michigan State's going to win. Tell me why.
Hey, the running game. Walker doing his thing and bouncing back.
Hennigan down the middle. That's knocked away and incomplete. Mr. Jones got the hand in, 2nd down.
And he might have gotten away with a little interference there. Had his hand on the back of Calvin Austin, and the officials didn't call it right there, and propelling himself across. I bet you our main man would agree.
Matt Austin?
Matt Austin might throw the flag on that one.
Just because it was against a receiver named Austin?
No, because it was pass interference.
2nd down for Hennigan. Freshman on the roll, throws it across for Dykes, who's got the 1st down for Memphis.
Yeah, sort of a homecoming for Sean Dykes. Went to school just down the street at Manville High School. An excellent high school program.
Played for the Mavericks there. Dykes, who's been a great receiving target for Memphis, and now Hennigan diving to the 49-yard line after the injury to his lower body earlier. He goes all out that time.
I don't know if I'd be running him a whole lot after he limped off the field earlier and then has been nursing a shoulder injury earlier in the season after the Navy game, missed the UCF game with that injury. I don't know about have him running it a bunch.
He's 39-2 his last 3 years at Denton Ryan High School. Memphis with Rodriguez Clark, who goes tunneling for a 1st down.
Alumni Chase Daniel went to school at Denton Ryan.
Seth Hennigan's father, who Clark mentioned earlier, the head coach there, longtime head coach. Seth played for his dad.
Tigers now moving the ball a little bit. across midfield. See if they can put themselves in the end zone here with about 4:42 left in the half.
They need it. Houston gets the ball out of halftime.
Hennigan down the sideline for Austin, and a marker does come in on the pattern. It's Austin against Jones, and we'll check the flag.
And that's what they're going to use him to do tonight, is run vertically down the field. And he gave a double move to Marcus Jones that crossed him up a little bit. He had to grab, and this time the officials are on top of it.
Defense, number 32. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
So Hennigan's deep ball goes wanting as we check in with Clark downstairs.
Well, you were mentioning
Correction.
Seth
That was
Hennigan
on
and his
number
dad,
8.
Dave. They won a state championship last year at Denton Ryan, 15-0. That game was played at AT&T Stadium at 6 o'clock. They celebrated for a little bit. The next morning, the alarm clock went off. The two of them took a ride up to Memphis so he could enroll early, learn the playbook, and when you talk to coaches at the Memphis staff, this kid is dialed in. He is a coach's son.
Here is Hennigan over the top, down the middle, got another completion to the 15, and it is a Memphis first down inside the red zone.
And now the message is, you know, save the points. You got a Cougar that is late to get up.
There's Rock Taylor on the catch for Memphis.
Hippolyte, the safety, Hassan Hippolyte, gets himself off the field. But right now, the message from the staff to the huddle is, hey, protect the points. We've got at least a field goal in our back pocket. Would love the big ones, certainly to draw closer here before the half. And if you're Houston, you're trying to create a turnover.
5 interceptions last 2 weeks for this Houston defense. Hennigan again. End zone, Taylor dropped it.
And it's because Taylor slows down. Didn't think he was going to get the football. He actually beat Marcus Jones off the line of scrimmage, and he slows down and hesitates just enough. This is the quarterback view, but it doesn't really show where he slowed down. If he just continues to run, he catches that thing easily, taps inbounds, and Memphis is down by about 8 with the awaiting the extra point.
Instead, second down for Hennigan in the offense, and he will run up the middle and lost his footing a couple yards past the line of scrimmage. Deontay Anderson, the tackle, and it's third down.
And it looked like there was a mix-up in the routes to his left. And he does a smart thing. Clark talked about his football IQ. He just, hey, let me go get something and turn it into a take a negative and turn it into a positive. They can still pick up a first down right around about the 5-yard line.
I wonder if Memphis would go for it on fourth down here if they had a fourth down and 5.
And they're loaded up in cover 0 here. Here comes the blitz.
Here they come. They get there. Hennigan backpedaling, and he left it short for Weaver. It's incomplete, and it's fourth down for Memphis.
Well, sometimes you got to take a hit to complete a pass. And you know you have 0 coverage, which means that everybody is blitzing. They're going to force me to throw early. You've got to be willing to sit in there to complete that. You know you're going to get hit as a quarterback. But he tries to throw it off his back foot, fading. It stayed in the air for a long time.
David Kemp to kick it for Memphis here. It is 28 for Kemp. And the Tigers are on the board late in the first half. Now it's imperative that Memphis get a stop here on this last drive for Houston, or what could be the last drive for Houston in this first half. Our Peloton halftime report is coming up in 2:55. Matt Berry and Joey Galloway talk about Cincinnati and their winning streak, trying to keep it alive against SMU. We'll see if the fighting Mel Tuckers and Michigan State. Congratulations to Mel Tucker, by the way, on what he's done in East Lansing to get his extension coming over from Colorado, and virtual locks. He's
had a heck of a season at Michigan State.
One of the most impressive coaches. We meet with coaches every week.
And, you know, for years and years we would meet in person. Now we're doing more Zoom calls.
Right.
Mel Tucker, I had Colorado with Rod Gilmore and Quint Kesnick a couple years ago. Mel Tucker is one of the most impressive guys I've ever talked to. There are a lot of impressive coaches and a lot of players, student athletes. Mel Tucker is top-notch, Andre.
Yeah, he's done a heck of a job in a short period of time there. I would say that Doug Belk kind of falls into that category as well here at Houston.
Short kickoff, and Houston's going to get the ball at the 37-yard line.
Not sure about that one. You don't want to kick deep to Marcus Jones.
Yeah, we'll see how it plays out for him. Few games on the American Conference on ESPN+. New Mexico, Houston, and women's college basketball. Florida A&M and Memphis, Sunday at 3 Eastern. 120+ college basketball games, men's and women's. Sign up at ESPNplus.com/AAC. By the way, Mel Tucker has some great stories about when he was interim head coach of the Jaguars for a very short period of time. And what a mess it was. First down for Houston. Clayton Tune and the Cougars hoping for a final fruitful scoring drive. Tune loads it up. Dell down the sideline. That was a small window, and Dell was not able to haul it in.
He hauled it in. He was just out of bounds. A heck of a throw and a catch on the back end. They were trying to double move both Dell and Singleton. And he's just buying time. Tune's just buying time for Dell to clear. Boy, if he holds on, he's actually inbound.
I'll tell you what, that ball
had a heck of a throw.
Split second to fall in there with Lindsey and Rubin converging.
A heck of a throw. Whew. Wow.
McCaskill on the run, and we'll see if Memphis decides to use a timeout here.
And definitely, I would imagine Coach Silverfield would. And somebody's down for the Cougars. Is that McCaskill?
It is.
Well, it's just been one of those nights that, as a coach, being in Dana Holgerson's shoes, you just don't want to have this stuff happen. Just the patience, and I'm not sure exactly where it happened, but it's his right shoulder, which is where he was grabbing early.
He immediately signaled to the sideline for the training staff.
I mean, he was tapping his helmet while he was still on the ground. It's good to see him get himself up.
He's going to walk off, so McCaskill up. It's going to be a 3rd and 7 for Houston, and Henry will come off the sideline to play tailback, you'd imagine. Seth Green is in as well, extra tight end.
We'll go about 4 deep with Chandler Smith as well as Mulba Carr.
Longtime Houston Cougar Mulba Carr on senior night. See if he gets some run later on. That is Dell in motion to the slot on 3rd down. Tune just signaled something that direction. Tune, short set. This is Dell. And Dell, little hop step out of bounds. That's a 1st down for Houston. And a marker comes in.
Yeah, late hit out of bounds. It's going to be a late hit out of bounds on Lindsey from the back end.
Personal foul. Horse collar tackle. Number 22 of the defense. 15 yards from the end of the play. Automatic.
We have
First
our
down.
rules expert with us, Matt Austin. Matt, as you look at this horse collar tackle, what are officials looking for?
Well, this is a good call. Any grab of the back or side of the collar and you jerk the runner down backwards can really severely cause knee injuries and lower leg injuries. So that's a good call.
Thank you, Matt Austin, our rules expert, longtime referee in college football. Delayed handoff, and it goes to Henry, who is spiked down immediately. John Tate was in on the tackle along with Allen. So under 2 minutes for Houston, 3 timeouts left.
And it's an eternity when you have the 3 timeouts. You could essentially take one here and slow it down, but you don't want to leave any time for Memphis to put anything together, because they've still got the 3 timeouts as well. So you want to work the clock down, score, and leave as little time on the clock for Memphis as possible.
Clayton Tune out wide for Singleton, who doubles back the other way. Got a block from Herslow, and he's out of bounds across the 20.
Well, that was a heck of a route by Singleton. He comes all the way back to the football. A lot of guys will just stop, but he comes all the way back to the football, and that's what gets him open. If he just stays there, he's covered up by Jacoby Francis easily, but he feels him in his hip pocket and starts back towards the quarterback, creating the separation for the completion.
Leading receiver tonight, 74 yards for Singleton. Tune fake to pass, now goes up the middle. Clayton Tune stiff in the end zone, and he's there. Touchdown, Houston.
Oh, big, strong, athletic, 6'3", 215 pounds, going to break a lot of tackles. If you don't wrap up Clayton Tune, he's going to run free in your secondary just like he did there. Zone coverage, a lot of deep drops. You can't get there with 3. It's going to create some running lanes for an athletic quarterback. And if you don't tackle in the secondary, that happens.
So Houston, in this first half, has had a 1-play, an 11-play, and a 6-play touchdown drive. Their drive that went without a touchdown was the 19-play, 10-minute drive. What are we doing, Houston? College football playoff top 25 reveals 7 Eastern time on Tuesday. We will see where Cincinnati is, and they will take on SMU coming up tomorrow. Did you ever run the flag out? Were you ever in charge of that?
No, never in charge of that. I watched him though.
You watched? That's nice. That's great. Hey, how's Dickinson doing tonight?
Dickinson's up. They scored. They had gotten close with Atascocita. And it was 14-13. They just scored a touchdown, so it's now 21-13 Gators.
I love how much they love you here at Houston. Just being honest, I see you walk around. I see what people think of you. They got the number 11 on the field there. They're giving out the T-shirts today, and it's cool to be back here with you. I'll say that.
The feeling's mutual. I love the community here. They were great to me. Took a shot on a young, skinny kid to give him a chance to play quarterback, and I love the university, love the school, and everything about it.
Memphis will have 53 seconds, and this is Rogers on the return. Down the sideline, Rogers gets dumped across the 30-yard line, and he was caught in the Houston sideline. Look, with 48 seconds left, here is why they love you, Andre Ware. Here's the whole file on Andre Ware and his Cougar background. Look at you slinging it.
A young, skinny kid, didn't know any better, just throwing it around in an offense that just fit. Timing is everything.
Hey, that sign was right, by the way. Some of that's in the Astrodome. Was one of those in the Astrodome?
One's in the Astrodome. The other one was out at, we were talking about this game earlier, Arizona State. After they had come off a Rose Bowl appearance, we went out there and played them.
You didn't just play them. I'll tell you that much. This is incomplete.
We had some fun that day.
Yeah, you did.
That night, yes. I remember that game being hot. It was like 107 on the turf, and we kicked at like 7, 8 o'clock at night.
And it was still 107?
Still boiling on the turf. Yeah, it was hot.
Yeah, don't play there in September now. Schedule one of those November non-conference deals. 4,700 passing yards, just about. in your college football career.
Yeah, and I probably threw the ball, what, 70, 71 times my senior year in high school. Didn't throw it a bunch, but threw it a lot here. 2 weeks worth here.
Yeah, I was going to say. There's Eddie Lewis on the catch from Memphis. They're in a hurry, but they're not using the timeouts here. So 3rd down, and now we'll see how they do the clock management situation.
First charge, timeout of the half. Memphis, 30 seconds.
Well, double move wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility here. They've tried it already with Calvin Austin working against Marcus Jones. Didn't surprise me at all. He's back in the huddle. We've talked about that ankle injury with Calvin Austin.
You might as well, right? I mean, that's why I pitched to you, go for it on 4th down instead of the field goal for Memphis, because Houston's offense looks like it's starting to cook.
You got to keep pace with them.
Yeah,
in a high-powered offense, a team that's hot on that side of the ball, you know, going on the road, you got to score points to keep pace. And you get down in that area of the field inside the red zone, you find the end zone as opposed to kicking field goals. I'm with you. I understand what you're saying.
Clark, what do you have?
You know, Calvin Austin, when you talked to Kevin Johns this week, Andre, and it was evident the ankle injury was a situation where they had to monitor. They wanted to give him about 30 snaps this game and a lot of go routes. And I've been watching him throughout the first half, cutting and making those sharp cuts that you're accustomed to seeing with Calvin Austin. It's not there tonight. It's go or no go.
Yeah. It's vertical right up the field, or if he's got to put some weight on it to cut, it's just not there. It was then. It's a nice little out route right at the marker. And I tell you what, this is a great matchup to watch. 4 against 8, 2 of the finer players in this conference.
This felt like 22 seconds was a little generous. I thought maybe a couple more seconds would come off there. Pressure came. Hennigan dodges by and slides down at the 40-yard line. Parrish was in there first.
That's where, Jason, if you're a runner then, to save the timeout, you lunge head first and away from the defender so that you make sure you pick up the first down. That would stop the clock for you right here. Just go inside and head first. And pick up the first down, give the change time to move. You don't have to really spend that timeout.
And we saw with Tulsa a couple weeks ago where that slide begins can really affect the game. Tulsa was going in. Davis Brin slid feet first.
Would have been in the end zone had he gone head first.
That's exactly it. Instead, Cincinnati remains undefeated, avoided overtime in that situation. And now Memphis here. What's your play call? 15 seconds from the 39.
Well, they still have, I think, 2 plays depending on how quickly you're able to get the ball out. You might be able to squeeze in a 3rd one. But you're thinking the end zone, but you have the timeout, so you have the entire field at your disposal.
Hennigan, the freshman, lobs it sideline for Dykes, and it's 3rd down and 1 for Memphis.
About 4 seconds run off. Houston doing a nice job on the back end. It's amazing to me just the amount of pressure that they get from just rushing 4. I mean, they harass the quarterback week in and week out. They do a magnificent job of keeping guys fresh. And here they come again without blitzing.
Hennigan, quick set, incomplete. He wanted Eddie Lewis, and now a possible 57-yard field goal with the long on the books this year for Memphis 51. You probably got to go for it.
Yeah, especially with the timeout. You could actually run it and then get a timeout call and then take a shot to the end zone. But it's nice coverage on the back end by Hogan, the Texas Tech transfer.
Timeout Houston.
I wanted to see what
First
formation
charge, timeout of the half. Houston, 30 seconds.
the Tigers came out in, and then try to match up to it. If I'm Memphis, I don't show the same look. Play the chess match and get you another play call here.
Well, it was interesting last week. Silverfield walked out with the extra point in overtime, and then ECU called a timeout. And then he said, well, you know what? Let's abort mission and go for 2. And ECU ended up winning by 1. And by the way, ESPN Plus coming up tomorrow has the #1 team in the country. The Georgia Bulldogs are taking on Charleston Southern in Athens. The Buccaneers up from Charleston. Noon Eastern, Texas A&M and Prairie View A&M, Mississippi State, a home game as well. UTSA still unbeaten, the Roadrunners, and then BYU on the road at Georgia Southern. That's all coming up. Sign up at ESPNplus.com. 7 seconds to go, first half. 4th down. We'll see if they do get the first down or just throw it here. It's Hennigan. Unloading down the field. Hennigan toward the end zone. That's playable in the end zone. And off the battle for it, it is incomplete. And that will do it. Kai Matthew was setting up to high point the ball, and he never got a chance. Houston, some jawing at the end of the first half. We'll have intrigue in the second half, certainly. For now, we step aside. 21-3 your halftime score. Peloton halftime report after the break. Matt Berry, Joey Galloway after this. You're watching ESPN College Football Primetime presented by Ram Trucks. And you're watching the American Conference on ESPN. Cincinnati's unbeaten, but Houston hasn't lost since week 1, and they look very much the part so far tonight, up 21-3 at the half.
Yeah, kind of hitting on all cylinders where the defense is doing their thing, exactly what we expected from that side of the ball. And then offensively, usually it's an aerial attack. It's been on the ground that Clayton Tune with a touchdown run, McCaskill with a touchdown run. The Cougars are getting it done. And
they will get the ball back out of halftime here. Your halftime stats, 255 total yards, good balance. How about 6 for 8 on 3rd down for the Cougars?
That's outstanding. You're able to possess the ball, move the chains. It gets frustrating for the other sside.
Downstairs, Paul Carcaterra.
Well, I caught up with Dana Holgerson moments ago, and he's thrilled with the offense. The balance from Clayton Tune, his decision-making, passing the ball, but obviously making plays with his feet as well, and then Alton McCaskill. What can't you say about this guy, the freshman? But I will tell you this. Moments ago, he just walked past me. He does not have his shoulder pads on. He's in a sweatshirt, his game pants still on, and I saw him talking to some of his teammates. It looks like he was pointing to his shoulder. He is not going in anytime soon.
And not with a 21-3 lead here at halftime, getting the ball first.
And it will be a run on 1st down, and it's Henry, the Texas Tech transfer. And you think about what the American Conference title game would have been if Houston had kept that 21-7 lead at halftime against Texas Tech in week 1.
2 undefeated teams in the American, and along the way, had they not lost that game, it was much more love in terms of the polls. Wouldn't have taken until this week to get in, but they've more than made up for it. I'd like to see those 2 teams play at this point in the season.
Here's Tune on the roll. Clayton Tune whips it out of bounds. 3rd down. If Texas Tech and Houston played this week, there'd be a different radio crew for one of the 2 schools. 3rd and 7 for the Cougars here. But you think about the transformation of Clayton Tune, right? That pick 6 he threw in the Texas Tech game was not a good decision.
No.
It was not a good throw, and it flipped the game. And he has done everything you'd want from a young man to bounce back from that for the rest of the year.
You're exactly right. He's developed through the season, which you don't really see a whole lot of. And that game, staring down receivers, still throwing it into double, sometimes triple coverage. I don't see that from his game, at this point in the year.
Here is Tune climbing the pocket again, gets rid of it late, and it is incomplete. Pressure from J.J. Russell again for Memphis, and exactly what the Tigers needed right out of halftime.
Yeah, a stop on 1st down. You hold on 2nd and 3rd down, you're able to force a punt. And I think you're starting to see the importance of Alton McCaskill. So much to this offense.
Yeah, that young tailback is going to just be a monster for the Houston Cougars. Fair catch downstairs to Carter.
Yeah, at half, I also spoke to Dana Holgerson about Donovan Mutin, and he told me in his 11 years of coaching as a head coach in college football, he's never had a player have to leave the field off on a stretcher. It obviously rattled him. It was emotional for the entire team to regroup and to get their focus back on the game. And I was also told by a Houston official, Donovan Mutin was sent to the hospital for precautionary reasons. He is alert and he's talking. And Donovan, if you're watching, we're all thinking about you. Thoughts and prayers are your way.
Yeah, that young man, as we mentioned in the first half, just an absolute joy to talk to. We spent time last year talking to him about his father, an executive chef, and his family, and how much he loves football and was raring to go for last season. And we were thinking about you, Donovan Mutin. Wow, the pile keeps on moving for Rodriguez Clark, and he ends up with 5 on first down. This Memphis team is not going to go away. As you mentioned in the first half, they have won 5 straight against Houston.
But they're going to have to score in a hurry and start to put some big plays together, splash plays. Plays that involve Austin and Lewis and Ivory, guys that are playmakers on this offense. Sean Dykes gonna have to step up.
Blitz comes from the secondary. Throw to Austin and dropped in beautifully. Calvin Austin over the shoulder. He beat Jones. Boy, Owen sped it all up with the pressure, but it's a gain of 36.
And that's on a bad wheel. He's got a bad ankle. We talked about that earlier, but sets him inside, and then the separation. The throw is what helps him to win, with a safety coming off a little bit late.
Here is Eddie Lewis on the bubble screen, and he's very close to the line to gain.
He is another playmaker. Had an outstanding game last week in that loss to East Carolina. Had 3 catches for like 93 yards or so, and a touchdown reception.
He's getting about 16 per catch this year. Eddie Lewis is out of Harlem by way of Butler Community College. Hennigan, 2nd and 1, gives a little grab, throws it over the middle. My goodness gracious, Jones high points it and reels it in.
Can't mess with him too much. What a catch by Marcus Jones. That will be on everyone's highlight reel this weekend. One-handed interception on the back end by Marcus Jones. Going to give the Cougs the ball about the 15-yard line.
All 3 phases. Marcus Jones, who just got his 9th career pick tonight, Andre. He's so fun to watch.
Offense, defense, special teams. He's a young man that can find the end zone and affect the game in all 3 phases. That was just a sick interception he just made.
You can see a little bit of the high school basketball in him on that pick, too, as he went up for basically what ended up being a one-handed rebound. As Toon throws the screen, this is Dell. What a little jab step inside to the 20-yard line. He is so shifty in space.
You know, what I like about what Dana's doing is that he is just finding football players. Dell is one that you can't really measure the heart of a young man like that. 5'10", 155 pounds. Marcus Jones, another on the other side of the ball, and obviously we've documented how he affects the game in all 3 phases. Not a big guy at 5'8", 185.
Here's Henry for a Houston first down, and on Dell, who wears number 1 for Houston. Here's a guy who started at Alabama A&M. He went to community college, fought through, got playing time, became a big-time target for Independence Community College as Ruben is down for Memphis here. But he said, Nathaniel Dell, he said, when I got the opportunity, I knew I would take advantage. He knows that in his heart. He's done so at Houston, and will step aside with the injury to Ruben.
So when you watch Marcus Jones play, he reminds me of another guy that wore single digits, in Charles Woodson, and how he affects the game defensively. Excellent in coverage. On the offensive side, C. Wood would catch passes and find the end zone. The same thing with Marcus Jones. And then in the return game, both guys could affect the game, take it over, and then house call them to the end zone. Wood went on to win the Heisman Trophy, obviously one of the best players to ever play in college football. Talented young man wearing number 8.
I mean, he'll catch the ball. He's got 10 catches this year.
Yes.
They've used him every which way. As his Cougars get the ball off his interception, and they'll have first down across the 25. That is Dell in motion again, and they'll get it to him. Dell off the catch and run. He caught it mid-stride, and away he goes. Nathaniel Dell into Memphis territory, and the acceleration is beautiful to watch.
I just love watching this kid play. I said I wouldn't mind having him. A couple of weeks ago, we got a chance to see him against Tulsa. Wouldn't mind having him in the run and shoot because he's so dynamic once the ball's in his hands in space. He's not looking to go down. He's looking to get to the end zone.
This is Henry, and he's not able to get outside as Joseph made the tackle. A marker is in as well behind the play.
They're going to get Tank Jenkins, the right guard who was pulling for a holding call.
Holding. Offense. Number 72. 10 yards from the previous spot. Still first down.
It's a third holding penalty against the Cougars tonight.
Yeah, Patrick Paul's picked up 2, the left tackle, and then now the right guard. Tank Jenkins, the transfer from Texas A&M, gets flagged for the hold.
They got 2 tanks on the offense, by the way. They got a fleet.
Yeah. Tank Dell and Tank Jenkins.
Here on senior day, you could say thanks for the memories. If you were into such a thing. First down again. They had Dell in motion, and this time he's hemmed to the sideline. And another flag is in. This one at the 45.
Hold on, Trahan, the tight end.
Trahan pleading his case. Dana Holgerson also pleading his case in different language.
He is always going to.
Holding. Offense. Number 85. 10 yards. Spot of the foul. Still first down.
You can hear on the open mic the Houston sideline screaming.
And he's going to protect his players. I don't know. That's a bad. That's tough. I don't see a hole there when a guy's at your knees and you're just trying to back away to protect yourself.
I think after this play we should see what Matt Austin has to say after this 1st and 30 for Houston, because I agree with you. I didn't really see a hold, but Matt may see something otherwise. As Toon will run on a first down. It's second down. Matt Austin, what did you see on that hold?
Well, I thought it was a really good call. He had both hands. I could only see one hand, but it looked like both hands were outside the shoulder pads, and he got a hold of them, and he got leverage on the top of the defender and just rode him to the ground. So you could see him control him from the top. Right there, you just see him as he gets hit. Now he just pulls him right down. So that's a very good call.
Matt Austin, ladies and gentlemen. That's why we have him around here. Down the middle. This is the senior Herslow, right around the 45, and it'll be
going to be close. I call it third down, but just shy. Actually, I've forgotten
the original line of scrimmage.
The original line of scrimmage. I've forgotten about those 2 holding penalties that backed them up way back there.
It's called repression.
Yeah, second and forever. So I thought, well, he's got close to the first down. No, now it's 3rd and 10.
I'm going to bet you Dana Holgerson has not forgotten about the holding yet, but
no, he hadn't let that one go yet.
Toon to the outside. It's Dell turning upfield. What a dynamic playmaker Tank Dell is. It's 19 on 3rd and 10.
Well, he is 5'10", but he plays at about 6'2", and the speed in which he plays with is unreal. I don't know what he clocks in the 40, but I don't need to know based on the speed in which he plays the game. And it's as fast as anybody else on the field. What I love about him is what I said earlier, is that every catch he makes, he's trying to get to the end zone.
Yep.
There's no doubt about it.
It's a thrill to watch his footwork, too. Close up. He just sort of hopped into that catch. As Toon looks up high,
Now scans through the progressions. This is popped in the air and in danger, and it's picked off by Memphis. Intercepted by Rodney Owens for the Tigers. They needed it badly, and that is exactly what they got. Sylvante Oliver popped it into the sky, and Owens on a helium ball just waited for it to land in his waiting arms. Can Memphis turn it into points? We'll find out together. First pick in a long time for Toon. Hey, college basketball is going, and so you got to get to ESPNplus.com/AAC. Memphis and Houston women's basketball in action. 120-plus college basketball games over on ESPN Plus. Do it right now. It's easy. Just click. Click while you're watching. Two-screen experience. There you go. As Clayton Toon threw his first interception in 191 attempts, Memphis gets it back, answering the pick with their own interception. And Asa Martin on a first down carry. So what do you need as a flag comes in, and now we have post-play jostling and jawing again. If you joined us late, you missed off the top of the show. We showed you that there were two separate instances where these teams got into it in pregame warm-ups. And now the officiating crew trying to take control of what's happening post-play tonight.
Yeah, Jace Rogers has got to keep his composure.
After play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 16 in the district, defense. 15 yards from the end of the run, automatic first down.
Crowd's booing, but it's been happening all night off and on, and the officials, credit to them for taking control here.
Just mixing it up on the outside, and they're so deep at that position. They just tried Alex Hogan on, but they're mixing it up.
A lot of talking after the play, and that's what drew the 15-yard unsportsmanlike. Hennigan, the freshman, Parrish was coming after him. It's a screen for Asa Martin, and he's just short of the 35-yard line.
Yeah, Deontay Anderson slips down, and all of a sudden Martin's able to take advantage of it and get his momentum going forward.
Former Alabama State Player of the Year who's been through Auburn and Miami, and now this run straight up the middle gets him across the 35 as Demarion Williams absolutely met him right at the point of attack.
Yeah, we're on the back end of the regular season schedule, and look down, and you mentioned Auburn, Miami, and yet he's listed as a redshirt junior. Usually you transfer a couple of times, clock is up.
Yeah, the clock's gotten a little longer on everybody. We got super seniors
with last year.
Seniors.
Yeah,
that's right. That's right. Downstairs, Paul.
When I spoke to Ryan Silverfield, Memphis head coach at half, he told me the passing game has to come alive, and it's a lot to ask of the true freshman Seth Hennigan. But he said Houston is playing their safeties really low. They have to maximize any opportunity on the outside and take some shots. Andre, who's the guy with Calvin Austin hurt? Who is the guy?
I think Eddie Lewis can step up. Gabriel Rogers, when he's in the game, can step up.
That is Rogers. He's going to load up to throw, and it's Hennigan on the backside making the catch. And Hennigan looking a little bit like a wide receiver with a shifty move, and it's a gain of 8.
Well, that's a heck of a play by Hennigan, because he had Alex Hogan bearing down on him and was able to make him miss.
So they got to have a yard, and that is stonewalled right at the line of scrimmage. So not a whole lot there as Vaughn, Bell, and a couple others were there. It's 4th down, 4th and 1.
He just rushed into a bad situation. All of a sudden, there are a couple of defensive linemen that are free as you're trying to rush to I guess, fool them or surprise them, and you wound up getting surprised.
That will happen. 4th down and 1. It's a shovel pass for Dykes. That is very dangerous, and they have the first down. Oh, into gridlock. The Tigers get it.
And they're able to pull the defensive line of Houston just enough to create a crease for Dykes. But if Anderson is there just a smidget faster, he shuts it down. Trying to get through some traffic and got there just a step late.
First down for Memphis. Weaver on the carry into that defensive line, and he steps through a couple of tackles to have a nice medium gain on first down. Williams finally stopped him.
Pepe Williams is another talented corner for Doug Belk. Just gives him a ton of versatility. He can play corner, he can come into the slot and play over the slot receivers, as well as line him up at safety. And he's at safety right now.
Hennigan down the middle, touchdown Austin. There is a marker down at the near side on the 12.
Maybe coming back.
An eligible receiver downfield. On the offense, number 56. 5 yards from the previous spot. Second down.
It's on the right guard, Dylan Parham. Very talented, possible future Sunday player, Parham, and it's coming back.
Well, it happens so fast. How does he get down the field? Just watch the right guard. Yeah. Down around the 10-yard line.
That is all for good reason. He was engaged blocking. He was pushing downfield, but too far downfield. So, second down for Memphis instead of the touchdown. Hennigan swings it out of the backfield. That's a forward pass, and it's incomplete. Weaver couldn't reel it in, so it's now third down for Memphis. And now you have to imagine Belk's going to bring some pressure.
He almost has to, but Weaver, because the reason why he missed the ball is he stopped, turned back, and Hennigan is trying to lead him just enough where he can catch it on the run. So when you stop and now you got to try to start again, it just threw the entire timing of the play off. I got to believe this is 4-down territory for Memphis as well. Get some of it here on third down and then come back on fourth down and you're going to go for it.
They might be enticed by it being a 3-score game. We will see. It's third down for Hennigan. He launches right side Austin. The feet got tangled and the pass is incomplete. It was Hogan who wiped out Austin, and now we'll see what Memphis does here on fourth down and 10.
I'd have been thinking draw play, another screen to get half of it on third down. But they elect to go to the conference's leading receiver in Austin, unable to connect.
I will say, if you went for the field goal earlier, it would make some sense to go for it here to make it a 3-score game and pair them together for a touchdown instead. Fourth down for Hennigan in Memphis, and he's got a completion across the 15-yard line to Ivory. Oh no, they're going to say incomplete. The ball came out, and a flag comes in as well. So Ivory had it but did not complete the catch. And there's a marker down. Ivory is hurt. We will see what the flag is.
Yeah, the field judge came in after. I think he was waiting on someone else maybe to make the call, and then he decided to
personal foul.
Throw his flag.
Targeting.
Yeah.
Defense, number 21. The previous play is under further review.
It's Gleason Sprewell called for targeting. And so the foul was for targeting. If targeting is wiped out, then there would not be a penalty. So let's see what the first look is. Matt Austin, our rules expert, is watching along with us. We'll get Matt a look here. And as we watch, Matt, take us through what you see.
Well, from that view,
with the helmet, it looks like
he did lower his head. This is going to be a better view. Yeah, I mean, that is targeting. He lowers his head. He is attacking. He lowers his head. That's the indicator. He does attack with force. You know, you may not like it, but you got to keep your head up. Doesn't matter if you hit him in the head, in the chest. If you lower your head, absolutely.
Yeah, if he just sees what he's hitting in that instance, then I think it alleviates the penalty. But because it's the crown of the helmet, which is exactly what this rule was designed to get out of the game, there's no doubt it's targeting it, in my opinion.
Thank you to Matt Austin. And look, this is a rule that was put into place, yes, to protect pass catchers and offensive players, but also to protect defensive players who can easily hurt themselves doing that sort of thing. And so if it is targeting, this will be a Memphis first down. The pass was officially incomplete. Now, if targeting were wiped out, you would have a turnover on downs because you didn't have the additional foul for unnecessary roughness.
After further, the rule field is confirmed. Number 21 is disqualified. Foul be forced. Half the distance from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
I mean, the crowd's booing, but
I think it's the correct call.
Yeah,
it's absolutely the correct call. As Matt said, you may not like it, but it's the correct call. And I think someone just got flagged on the sideline, the Cougar sideline, and I think it may have been the head coach, Dana Holgorsen.
Dana Holgerson's a great head coach. He did some wonderful things at West Virginia. He's built Houston.
Conduct on the Houston head coach. Foul be forced. After the assist to the goal. First down.
And
the head coach is first unsportsmanlike of the game.
Now Dana Holgerson's going to use it to lead the band here.
You just got to walk away, go cool down a little bit.
Andre, that's
what you don't want.
Fish in a barrel. That's an easy targeting call.
It is, and you and I can see it. He doesn't. I'm not sure. Maybe the big board that he has all the angles that we have to see that it is indeed targeting, but you don't want to light a fire under this Memphis team.
Fake to Rodgers. Martin, who was in the backfield off the motion, scores the touchdown, and Memphis is right back in it. Earlier touchdown came back. They do get into the end zone on the Martin score. Now, so we had before the game, we had Houston and Memphis get together and start jawing at each other twice. And now
you got coaches doing it now,
yeah,
across
exactly
the field
right.
from one another. I didn't realize the rivalry was this big.
And you went here, you know this program, you know this league as well as anybody. This has gotten really, really intense. Let's go back to what happened pregame. You were standing on the field right around where this happened.
Saw it firsthand, and a couple of guys are ready to get going. Those the big guys, and then the defensive backs and smaller guys came out, and they were ready to go. The running backs, I'm sorry.
As Weaver, tailback, and that looked like it was all in good fun until it wasn't going to be in good fun anymore. I'm telling you, we got 19 minutes left in this deal, and I don't know what we're going to see.
A lot of football left. I'm saying you know, as the coaches of these two teams, you got to keep your composure, because a couple penalties and all of a sudden you light the fire for the other side.
Seems like what's happened so far in the second half is now Houston's got it outside the 30 as Henry for Houston is going to play a bigger role here too, considering the injury to Alton McCaskill.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think the words right out of my mouth. They don't have the explosiveness in the running game with him in with a T-shirt, as Clark described him, and his football pants on the sideline watching the second half of this one.
And now here's Mo Bakar in his 5th season at Houston. Long-time Cougar running back. He is going to check in as tailback for the first time tonight on senior night. We'll see if they give him some run. Clayton Tune checks it down, throws it across the middle. He's got Irwin, and Jalen Irwin to the 45-yard line, a gain of 16.
Well, what all these receivers do well is recognize coverage and sits it down in zone coverage, give the numbers to the quarterback, and Tune's able to scan through the progression, find that big 1 and 5 and thread the needle.
He's a transfer from UCLA by way of Charlotte, North Carolina, Jalen Irwin. Tune fading back, got hit as he threw, and that pass is incomplete.
Almost picked off.
Pressure came from Oliver, and it was nearly ripped off by Zay Collins.
Oliver did a nice job of kind of finding a spot. He comes off the edge, and he makes Dennis Bardwell miss the right tackle. And he made his way right into the midsection of Tune. Affected the pass and almost picked off. And be careful with the football here. Turnovers will spark a run. And that's what got Memphis started on the prior drive.
Now Oliver's hurt for Memphis. Yeah, turnovers just have not been an issue. You got Houston, who's in double figures on the plus side in turnover margin this season. But if they come in bunches, it could be a problem for this Cougars offense that has had a 3-and-out and a pick and their 2 drives so far in the second half.
Yeah, Tune had gone 192 passes without an interception. That's what sparked Memphis, and take it and go score with it.
Tune wants to let it rip. He comes to the sideline and runs it now, taking a hit right as he got to the edge. And it's 3rd down coming up, as that was Zay Collins who nearly had the pick on the previous play.
A big down here for Memphis. If they can somehow stop Houston from picking up this first down, find themselves with a punt return situation here. But we're right around midfield again, and that's kind of the indicator for Dana Holgorsen. Get about half of it, wouldn't surprise me at all if he goes for it on 4th down.
That was Dell in motion. Tune looking that way. Ducks by a sack, gets out of the pocket, now gets overwhelmed by Collins on another sack. It's a loss of 5.
Yeah, definitely got to punt it away and play defense here. And all of a sudden, there's a spark in this Memphis team. Bring some pressure, and they're able to get there. J.J. Russell and his crew coming through and cleaning things up was Collins.
So Lane Wilkins, the Australian-born punter, is on for Houston. We will see if Drake has an opportunity to return. Inside the 15, Drake is knocked down. A flag comes in at the end of the play, and we'll check the marker. Oh, now there's fighting going on at the 40-yard line, and another flag comes out. We've got an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty up the field as well. You got to watch all 100 yards right now of this football field.
I think it may be a late hit originally, the first flag, and then you're going to have an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty at about the 40-yard line. So hold on here, strap up.
It's the freshman Caesar. Now, I understand that your coaches have to go and tell your players, hey, settle down. But I will say, when your head coach sets the example of what Dana Holgorsen did earlier, you put yourself in this situation where players react like that as well.
There were 2 fouls committed by Houston. Both were dead balls. Personal foul after the play was over. Personal foul. Late hit with targeting. Number 33. After the play was over. Unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 96 in Houston. That's his first of the game. The previous play is under further review.
And now suddenly you're moving down the field, and this all starts to snowball. This is Garrison Vaughn on the targeting call. Now we're looking for forcible contact to the head or neck area. It didn't look like a crown of the helmet situation. Now he did launch. So Matt Austin, as you look at this on Vaughn, what do you see on this targeting call?
I'll be honest with you, I don't like that as a targeting call. I think he was tripping, to be honest, and I think he fell on him. So I don't really think you have much of an attack. See, he lost his balance. He does go a little bit high. It's not crown. The only thing he really had to hit was high on the defender, on the runner. Now the runner is defenseless because he's down, but I don't like that as a targeting call. I don't think there was any intent there. I don't like it as an attack. So I would hope that they would pick this one up. But it's a judgment call. He did hit him high.
After further review, there was no targeting by number 33. We still had a personal foul for a late hit on him and unsportsmanlike conduct against 96. Both those fouls will be enforced. First down, Memphis.
So, Matt, we just saw the difference between personal foul with targeting and then the targeting earlier. The targeting comes off this one, but the personal foul late hit stays. So that ends up being a 30-yard bang for Memphis.
That's correct. It was a late hit. I mean, it's unfortunate because I do think he tripped.
Yeah, well done, Matt Austin. Great analysis of that targeting there. And now Memphis will have it from the 40-yard line, and this lead gets more and more tenuous for the Houston Cougars. Hennigan, the freshman, sends it out wide and has another completion across midfield and a big hit and face-to-face. Kai Matthew going right at it with Alex Hogan.
Boy, this has gotten, I mean, a little heated, a little testy, but I'd like to see it cleaned up a little bit more.
Well, we're going to have a close football game pretty soon here. I mean, it's 11 right now, and at some point, those major penalties become issues in the win column. Rodriguez-Clark, nothing there. Second down and 10 coming up. What does this remind you of? I know you didn't play Memphis all the time when you were at Houston. What does this game remind you of?
Maybe a game with Texas.
Yep.
You know, a lot of John in that game before, during, and not much after. But it was certainly a little testy.
Was that all that jawing because you said early in your life you want to go to Texas?
It's just, you know, they just bring the best. They brought the best out of us.
Quick set, long throw to the far sideline, and a wide open sideline there for Memphis and Fleming. So Cameron Fleming, rarely used out of the backfield, sometimes as a returner, gets a first down.
How about the block by Gabriel Rogers down the field to help free up Fleming? But a nice read by Seth Hennigan, the true freshman quarterback as well, to identify his check down.
Hennigan right down the middle, has it inside the 10 for Memphis and Austin, and Calvin Austin has a first down and goal for the Tigers.
You just can't keep surrendering 15-yard penalties and giving up yardage without plays being run and it not take effect. And you know, you go back to that unsportsmanlike penalty that kept the drive alive and moved and gave Memphis a first down. Now all of a sudden, here they are again after two 15-yard penalties knocking on the door.
And plays of 29, 14, and 13 on the drive so far. Hennigan on the roll, lobs it back of the end zone, and he had too much on it for Dykes, who actually had a pass for a touchdown there.
I think he gave up on the play a little bit too early, Jason. He had Dykes clearing, and if he throws it lower and towards the back pylon, it gives Dykes a chance to make the play. But when he just decided, hey, I'm just going to throw it away, He gave up on it a little bit too early. He quick snaps. He's got his slot receiver, Eddie Lewis, uncovered. Now all of a sudden, he allows Williams to cover up.
Hannigan, threw it into traffic and behind the slot man, and Williams almost had a pick.
I mean, he threw behind an intended receiver earlier. Marcus Jones made him pay. It almost happened then.
I don't know what's going to happen in the next 15 minutes, but it's not going to be nothing.
It's going to be good.
Home of the College Football Playoff Semifinals. Friday, December 31st on ESPN.
College football playoff is coming, and big games tomorrow, including Michigan State, Ohio State, noon Eastern time, SMU, Cincinnati, and a huge one. And Bearcat fans need an Oregon loss tomorrow night in Salt Lake. But right now, Houston's 9-game win streak is on the ropes. Memphis driving inside the 5-yard line. Hannigan to the short side on the throw to the end zone. It is incomplete. Dislodged, looking for Lewis. And Hogan on the coverage. 4th and goal. What are you doing?
That's well defended by Hogan. I kicked the field goal here to make it a 1-score game. You're down by 8. If indeed you can score and go for 2 later. But I definitely take the points here.
Nice play by Hogan.
That was a heck of a play. Yeah.
It's a 22-yard kick for Kemp in Memphis. Trying to make it a 1-score game. This was 21-3 at halftime, and now 21-13. 10 unanswered for Memphis. And by the way, Houston in the 3rd quarter, 8 penalties, 72 yards in that quarter alone. And this season, along with their contributions to universities' general scholarship funds for every field goal and extra point made, All-State will be donating to the American Red Cross to help with disaster relief efforts. We thank you, All-State. On a chilly night in Houston.
It's chilly. It is that.
It's one of those nights where you take off your jacket and you put it right back on.
Put it right back on. No doubt about it. 8 penalties, 72 yards will change the complexity of a ball game. Houston has not scored here in the 2nd half, and mentioned it earlier, and Clark talked about it right out of halftime. McCaskill, their big-time weapons out of the backfield, both running and receiving, is watching the 2nd half of this one, and they just can't seem to get themselves going.
Houston on a 9-game win streak, the 4th longest active win streak, and now they will kick it away from Jones again, and it's Henry the up man, and Tayzon Henry gets absolutely clotheslined at the 35-yard line by Francis.
Top-ranked boxing tomorrow in Vegas, boys. It's going to be lit. The main event, 12-round super fight between undefeated WBO welterweight, the 37-0 Southpaw champ. That's Terrence Bud Crawford, and the former 2-time welterweight world champion Showtime Sean Porter. The prelims start at 7 Eastern on ESPN2, ESPN Deportes, and ESPN Plus, followed by the main event card at 9 Eastern on ESPN Plus pay-per-view in English and Spanish.
And there goes Henry on a 1st down carry. That's a big fight, by the way, Andre.
Yeah, that's going to be one of the better fights of the year, and one of the better fights in a long time. I mean, Terrence Crawford stepping up to face Sean Porter, and he will bring it all fight long. Bud's something else, though. Bud's a different breed.
Yeah, oh, yeah. First down, Houston. There are 3 drives this half. 3 and out, interception, and punt. Toon, little juggle of the snap. Clayton Toon climbing the pocket, now straight up the middle. Toon's got a huge lane, and he's got a 1st down to the 39 of Memphis.
Yeah, Memphis has chosen to just live in zone coverage and rush 3. And when they don't get there, it's just a lot of room for Clayton Toon to run. There they rush 4. They still don't get there. and you see the big crease for Clayton Tune to run through.
Henry on a first down run right into the thick of that line, and Quindell Johnson up in the safety spot. So it's a gain of 2, and look, Houston, if they can get into field goal range, they'd love to push it to a 2-score game. You kind of feel like Memphis has all the momentum right now, and Houston just needs something.
Yeah, this is a good start to this drive, though. A couple of positive plays, and controlling the ball, work some clock in the process.
Dell in the slot up top. Nobody in the pattern coming this way. And Tune finally lets it rip, and he's got the tight end Trahan, who just flowed along to the 35.
Well, that's just some trust right there. Trust that somebody's going to get open for you, and guys will continue to work for you, game in, game out, even in practice, when they know that your eyes are up and you're going to give them a chance to work themselves open. Nice reward for Trahan.
Become one of the top targets for Clayton Tune this year with 31 catches coming in. Houston's been great on third down tonight. Tune scanning, surveying over the middle. He has Singleton and a first down for Houston.
Well, he thought front side to Dale first. That's the first on an out route, and it wasn't there. He quickly set his feet, came backside to Singleton, crossing on a shallow cross right in front of him, and just a nice touch pass to Singleton for the first down. Memphis going to have to mix it up. They're just trying to play zone all night. Sooner or later, you got to get some, got to be a little more aggressive.
Mike McIntyre, the defensive coordinator, former Colorado head coach. Tune runs it after emptying the backfield, and Tune gets to the fringe where he's knocked down inside the 35. Pickens. So Houston has had the ball for 27 minutes of this game after a 10-minute drive in the first half. There's not been a whole lot of methodical offense from the Cougars outside of that first drive. Second down, 7. Fake it to Henry. Tune on the run. He's got an alley again. Clayton Tune barreling inside the 5.
That's what a healthy Clayton Tune gives you. Most of the season, that hamstring bothered him. He could not pull it down and make plays with his legs. He's healthy now, and now it's just another thing for defenses to really have to focus on during the week in preparation for the Cougars.
Yeah, that wasn't the light and airy Tune. That was more grunge.
Memphis right now needing a kind of bend but don't break moment where they don't surrender big points to give themselves a chance to keep pace.
54 yards on the ground for Tune tonight. And guess what?
Play clock.
Houston fans.
Delay game. Offense. Number 3. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
You donate a little money to stop that feedback from happening ever again? Got a check right now. But
I got no comeback for that one. First, I had to figure out what you were talking about, and it's kind of been going on all night. So yeah, it's a little irritating.
Yeah.
I'll work on that.
Yeah, I'll take the over on a little irritating.
I'll work on it.
First and goal for Houston, up by 8. Tune will look to the sideline. Clayton Tune ready to throw. A lot of time through that zone coverage. Pressure coming now, forcing him outside. A little bump on an incompletion for Singleton. Now, you could argue that bump came a little early on the outside from Francis, which would then instigate pass interference, but it's incomplete.
He's really started to play well as of late. Kind of a slow start for Singleton, but as of late, he's
might have been a catch too.
close.
I rescind. He was on time. Francis was there on time. What do you think, catch?
You really can't tell. So I think even if it were, obviously they're reviewing it. I think it would be a stands conclusion.
Tune into the end zone and dropped by Dell.
You just don't see him put him on the ground like that, especially around the end zone. Throwing maybe a little hair behind him, but that's a catch that Tank Dell usually makes. I think he just relaxed on it just too much. And now 3rd down here. Memphis got a chance to play bend but don't break.
Houston's done everything to keep Memphis in this game in the second half.
I agree with you.
Tune loads at time again. Tune.
End zone, and this is intercepted. Picked off by Memphis and J.J. Russell. So Clayton Tune throws a second pick after coming in with 166 straight throws without an interception. Memphis gets it back when we come back. Two picks tonight for Clayton Tune, Andre.
Yeah, 2 interceptions in the last 9 weeks and then just 2 in the last 6 passes. He just tries to force one. This is a mistake that Clayton Tune would have made in week 1. I saw this against Texas Tech. So, you don't want to see a guy regress. That's just forcing the ball at a time when a field goal would have been plenty. Just throw it out of the back of the end zone, live with a field goal.
J.J. Russell's got the belt, and now Rodriguez Clark is chopped down. And it'll be 2nd down coming up.
It's just knowing the situation, Jason, and protecting the football.
You wonder if the first interception may have created the second interception, where you haven't had one for a long time, and then suddenly you try and force it a little bit. So 2nd down and 9. Clark in motion, Hennigan to throw for the sideline, and incomplete. It was Kai Matthew was the target. Marcus Jones was with him.
Well, I might have been begging for a flag if I'm Matthew or Seth Hennigan, as he was just still bumping, and they're about 10 yards down the field.
Memphis 2 for 10 on 3rd down tonight. Top 50 in the country coming in. 2 for 10 tonight. Hennigan, the freshman, felt the pressure, throws it down the middle, and it's batted away. Jones got the hand on it. Rogers went to the deck. And Memphis, at a wrong time, ends up with a 3 and out.
And again, Marcus Jones making plays. They move him inside to the slot. And if you're wondering, why does Hennigan keep throwing at Marcus Jones? Well, it's because he's all over the field. He'll be at corner one play, slide down inside over the slot. They'll line him up at safety, and then all of a sudden you're thinking, I'm just going through my progressions, but then there appears number 8, one of the better cover men on this Cougar defense.
And there appears number 8 back to receive the punt off the foot of Doyle.
He hit a good one.
It is returnable for Jones. Marcus Jones, the explosive Houston Cougar, gets the sideline, turns it upfield. Ball came loose. Now the question is, did he step out of bounds before the ball came loose? And did it end up over the sideline anyway? So we'll see what the result is. I believe Jones was out of bounds before the ball came out, although the beanbag was out as well. And there's an injured player for Houston on the sideline. Looks like, check and see. 21-13. Houston will get it when we come back.
Back here. 1st down. Houston. Media time.
ESPN College Football Primetime. is presented by Ram Trucks, J.D. Power's #1 brand in new vehicle quality.
Let's take a look at lovely Houston, but also Marcus Jones on this return. Ball got fumbled forward, so it'll be the spot of the fumble where the ball goes back to, and he did not step out of bounds.
And that ball's got to be in his left hand, away from guys pursuing him, so that doesn't happen. Good lesson right there for young football players. That ball in the outside hand.
Yeah, if somebody hits you on the outside hand, they're going to have come from out of bounds. That's not going to be terribly legal. So from the 48-yard line, Tune in the offense. It is Henry to start, and Houston has not scored with Alton McCaskill out of the ball game. This has been a different offense without their freshman tailback.
Pulling Tank Jenkins around, paving a nice, opening up a nice hole for Henry. Now Memphis again, and that bend but don't break, and needing the football back here as time continues to run. And Clayton Tune in this offense in no hurry to snap it outside of 10 seconds.
They're going to milk the clock under 8 at this point. It is Henry again. He was tracked down from behind this time. And it's Cameron Smith who got his shoe top. So 3rd down for Houston. Houston has been quite good on 3rd down tonight. 8 for 13 total, but in the second half, not the same.
No, just a little different. 2 of 5 in the second half of this ball game.
Tune on 3rd down. He uncorks for Dell down the sideline. Dell is knocked away. Wendell Johnson was there with him. He closed well, and it's 4th down.
Well, that's just well played by Johnson on the back end, one of the safeties for the Tigers. Is Dell on a little out and up against the safety. That's what you want. You got the matchup. It's well thrown, but Johnson just gets a hand in at the back end of it.
Now, if you're a Houston fan, you're saying he might have been a little early there.
Of course you would say it.
That's, I mean.
Yeah, I could see that, but it was just well played by Johnson. I thought it was a bang play and absolutely played well.
Drake, the fair catch inside the 10. So Memphis going to have to go a long way to try to tie this game with 7:01 to go. Houston's 9-game win streak is on the line. College Football Award Spotlight brought to you by the Home Depot. It's an award that's close to my partner's heart, featuring Davey O'Brien Award semifinalist Anthony Brown from Oregon. Andre?
Yeah, didn't get enough credit. He's got his team ranked 3rd by the College Football Playoff Committee, and I think he's done a heck of a job. The dual threat guy that transferred from Boston College, resurrected his program and resurrected his career rather, and has that program on the right trajectory.
Remember to tune in for the Home Depot College Football Award Show Thursday, December 9th, 7 p.m. on ESPN. It's a one-handed reel-in job by Dykes on the sideline.
It's a heck of a catch by
like
Dykes.
Palming a basketball. Yikes.
I mean, I thought this was going out of bounds, and it was thrown a little bit low, tailing down, and he just catch the point of it. Made it look like it was kind of easy, didn't it? Routine catch for him.
Extremely easy. He just one-handed a football going out of bounds. Gain of 3, 2nd and 7 for Memphis. He will keep it on the ground, and not a whole lot there for Asa Martin and the Tigers as Caesar, the freshman, made the stop, and it's 3rd down in a pivotal time for Memphis.
Big 3rd down here as you get late into this game around the 6-minute mark. You got needing the end zone and then a 2-point conversion on the other end of it. Who's going to step up and make a play? You got the matchup between Austin and Jones to the short side of the field.
Down at the bottom of the screen, Calvin Austin, Marcus Jones. Hennigan looks the other way, lets it fly, and it's incomplete. He wanted Eddie Lewis.
Art Green with a heck of a play to knock it out of there, and you got to punt it when you're on this end of the field, this close to your own goal line, and had the separation, but the makeup speed and the length of Art Green getting that big paw in there to knock it out. That's a pretty good play.
He forces the second straight 3-and-out for Memphis. Perfect timing by Art Green.
Perfect. Let's say the same as Johnson had on the defended pass against Nathaniel Dell in the Cougars' last possession.
Toughest position to play in football right now. When you say defensive back?
Oh yeah, no doubt about it.
Jones to receive. See how Doyle handles this after a 25-yard return last time. This is a shorter kick. Jones approaches and makes the catch in traffic. And Jones is down right around the 46-yard line. And again, some post-play shoving behind the play. We'll see how this wraps up. Houston by 8.
Tonight.
You've reached Peyton and Eli. Leave a message.
Pacino here, and I want to be on the show. We'll call it Any Given Monday. Night football.
Watch Peyton and Eli. You never know who will drop by.
Coming up Monday, 8 o'clock. Peyton and Eli back again, Bucks and Giants. How about this one, Andre, where Houston's up 8. The last 20 plays in this game have been run in Memphis territory.
That's crazy. And yet, the Cougars are stuck on 21.
Henry got a lane this time with a stiff arm, stumbling inside the 30. Takes on Henry with a much-needed 21-yard gallop.
A heck of a run by Henry to keep his balance, as you mentioned, and then the speed. Turned it on against South Florida to go 97 yards, and nobody in the house could catch it.
A little power in that stiff arm, too, for Henry. So now first down for Houston, up a score. With a game against UConn next week and presumably Cincinnati in the American Conference Championship game on December the 4th. Henry again tripped up. Ball came loose. The ball is on the ground, and we'll see who's got it.
Henry got back on it.
Wow.
And it kind of spun and spun right back to him. It was all over the place, hit a lineman's foot and came right back to Henry. It's just going to come out and start spinning. Nice job by Zay Collins to force the fumble. Actually, it's a defender whose foot it hits and comes right back to Henry.
Barely got back on that thing. Fake it to Dell. Toon on the run, and they just got a piece of him. Collins again downstairs to Cart.
Well, Jason, you felt the urgency from the offensive line before they ran onto the field this time. They know there's no Alton McCaskill. They have to make plays. They have to open up big holes. You saw Henry with the run. Comes down to Cody Russell, the center, and Patrick Paul, the left tackle. Those two guys are leaders. This is a cohesive group that does a lot together. They box once a week in the off season. They go to barbecue every Wednesday during the season and crush a ton of food. It's a tight-knit group that knows this is their time right now to win this game.
Yeah, right now, 3rd down and 4, trying to protect Clayton Toon, that offensive line. Toon out of the pocket, up the middle, and he's down to the 17. Going to be 2 yards short. And Andre, you're going to take the points here, aren't you?
Absolutely. I would kick the field goal here and make it a 2-score game if I'm Dana Holgorsen. But take a look at who Clark was just talking about. Cody Russell, right in the middle of the screen, 65. The pass blocking, nobody's getting in there. Just a heck of a job of staying with his guy, locking him straight down and giving his quarterback time. He must have known Clark was giving that report. That is well-timed, young man, but he is one of the leaders, transferred in from Louisiana Tech and was voted a captain in a very short period of time on campus. It shows you what this team really thinks about Cody Russell.
Going to need a seamstress if Betsy Ross has any legacy people around that might be able to take care of that. So Witherspoon trying to give Houston a 2-score lead from 34 for the Cougars. It is on the way, and it is good. First points of the second half for Houston at the 3:24 mark of the fourth. And if college football tomorrow is anything like we've seen today, with the intensity, with the large flags, by the way, large flags here in Houston.
They're big in Texas.
Oh, thank you. Yes, part of the Chamber of Commerce. Andre Ware. Saturday, noon Eastern time on ABC. It's Michigan State and it's Ohio State. First place, the Big Ten East is on the line. We have more shots of flags. Thank you to Paul Druzniak, our director. Noon Eastern, 9 Pacific on ABC and the ESPN app right after College Game Day on ESPN. So please, educate us why Michigan State you think is going to pull off the upset.
Well, I think they're due for a turnaround from that loss.
You got a feeling.
Ohio State, yeah, it's just a feeling that I have. It's nothing in particular, but tell you what, they've got one of the better running backs in the country. When you have a running game and you go on the road and you can play some defense, you give yourself a chance to compete and win.
Here's Rodgers on the return, and Rodgers to the 24-yard line. Now, presumably it would be Cincinnati and Houston in the American Conference Championship game. Depending on what Cincinnati does the next 2 weeks, they're playing SMU at home at Nippert Stadium tomorrow. They'll be at ECU on ABC next Friday, the day after Thanksgiving. They've not played this year. What a game it would be.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a heck of a game. You see the kind of the tail of the tape there, and not allowing the opponents many points. It's almost looking in the mirror. Both teams have a ton of experience on defense. They rotate and play a ton of players, and they both can light up a scoreboard. It's going to be a fun matchup, provided Cincinnati's able to take care of their end.
Hannigan nearly picked off. Boy, this secondary is full of talent.
There's one guy that's extremely talented, and he's a little bit slow after that pass breakup. But again, Marcus Jones making one heck of a play, working against Calvin Austin, two of the best players in the American Conference.
He's broken up 3 passes, he's picked off a pass, and he's tackled 6 players already tonight. Hannigan is drilled. Parrish went high and knocked him down.
This dude is put together. I mean, he loves the weight room. 6'2", about 245 pounds, and just jacked up.
He ate 7 pounds of steak at a team event once. 7 pounds of steak.
He's a heck of a player, I know that. You keep seeing Zero just show up on film over and over and over. And when he comes out, that's the guy that's getting off the bus first.
When
I got
steak
anything
involved,
to do with
that's
it.
for sure.
Well, just period. You want to intimidate a team, send him out first.
Man, think about that. 7 pounds of steak. He said, "I came hungry." Looks like the understatement of the century.
A bit. He is put together, I know that.
That's 28 quarter-pound burgers. I know I'm a little obsessed with this, but when you think about it, that's a lot of food, Andre.
Yep.
3rd and 16. Scott Lightman, our stats guy, just said that's 112 ounces of meat. He just did the math.
Quickly, huh?
Yeah. A substantial amount. 3rd and 16. Hannigan, backside pressure, incomplete, and Houston's defense now really speeding up the clock on Memphis and Hennigan, and you kind of have to go for it if you're going to have any chance.
Yeah, you have to, and that's why he needed a completion of some sort on 3rd down for whatever. Trying to get half of it just to put yourself in a position on 4th down to pick it up. But Anthony Jones didn't have it. I mean, they bring him in pass rush situations, kind of qualify him as their best pass rusher. Number 44 in the bottom of your screen here. Just keep an eye on him.
5 sacks on the year, and here he comes. To the sideline, Austin, and it was caught by the senior Herslow for the Houston Cougars. He was not an intended target, and Houston gets it back.
But right on cue, Jones puts Matt Dale on his backside. And just a bull rush into his chest. He ends up on his jersey and gets to the quarterback on top of that.
Memphis has 0 yards in the 4th quarter on 11 plays. This Houston defense, Jones is now suddenly leading the Boston Pops.
Love it.
This defense is really fun to watch.
It's fun because they can get the type of pressure that we just witnessed with just 4.
This is Henry on the run, straight up the gut, and Henry is tied up. They're going to be ripping for the football, and the officials are quick to stop play here. They don't want any more malfeasance.
I had a chance to talk to Doug Belk before the game, and we visited with him this week. And you're talking about the defense. He said, I was hesitant to tell them that they were good. All season long, hey, we need to work on this. We need to do this. He teaches by concepts. Rarely does he have a playbook, but they understand it. And he gets everybody engaged because they know they're going to play in the game, whether it's 5 snaps or 25 snaps or 55 snaps. Everybody on that defensive side of the ball knows that they're going in, so they're a little more attentive in the meeting room. But he said tonight he decided that he's going to tell them, you guys are good, and trust that they could handle it as a group and not have any type of letdown. And he's been right on the money with it.
Oh, yeah. This is now 7 of the last 9 games they've allowed fewer than 100 yards on the ground. By the way, Parrish holding that Sac Avenue sign makes me think of just about everybody that's gone to college has a friend who had street signs in their bedroom that they had just taken.
Yeah,
and
from somewhere.
Up. That's right.
On a night doing something they shouldn't have been doing. Come home with a street sign.
Being dumb in college, right? But that Sac Avenue sign is theirs. It was custom made. And it's 2nd down and 7 here for the Houston Cougars, and Henry again. That burst gets a 1st down and goal. Memphis has bled down to 1 timeout, and that should be just about it. You had a friend like that who had one of those, or a bunch of street signs.
Couple of them.
Yeah, you did. Everybody did.
Yep. Couple of them. Nice run here by Henry. He has come in, been solid. It looks as though Houston's going to extend their winning streak now, Jason, to 10 in a row.
How about Henry, who never took a visit to Houston first time through the recruiting process, got an offer from Major Applewhite when he was the head coach, and now Henry is in for the touchdown for Houston and a capper for that 10-game win streak.
Heck of a job up front by the offensive line. Henry's kind of hard to find at 5'7", 170 pounds, but they are not afraid to run him between the tackles. And just like with McCaskill, he's got speed. All it takes is a crease. Russie does his job along with Dennis Bardwell, and the rest is history.
Houston's longest win streak since 2015, when they went to the Peach Bowl that year and beat Florida State. The 4th longest active win streak in the country coming in, and that's now going to be tied for 2nd with the Roadrunners and the Bearcats, who both play tomorrow. UTSA against UAB. Cincinnati, SMU, and that 3:30 window is going to be a big one in the American.
It really will. It's going to tell a lot. SMU trying to keep pace and derail Cincinnati. I do like the Bearcats in that one, though.
You do?
I do. Ritter's playing some outstanding football. They've got weapons for him on just about everywhere within that offense, especially if Ford is back at running back and healthy. He's nursing an ankle. There's McCaskill, who get him mended up next week and ready for that conference championship game.
How about these seniors for Houston? They show up after 2015 with the whole H-Town takeover thing that was going on with Tom Herman after they won the Peach Bowl. Dana Holgerson, first couple of years here, 4-8 and 3-9, but suddenly this is going to be a 10-win season for the 9th time in program history at Houston. And it's a program I know you're very proud of. I know a lot of people down here were hoping for something like this year, and it has absolutely happened after an opening loss that was not terribly thrilling.
Yeah, it was tough because of the manner in which they got out in that first game against Texas Tech. Had to do some reevaluating after that and decided, hey, we're just going to grind and take them one by one. And that's exactly what Coach Holgerson and the staff has done, along with the team. And you keep your head down. And Coach Pardee told me a long time ago, that's how successful seasons are made. It's on winning streaks. And how you lose one, hey, you get to start over the next week and try to create another winning streak. And they've been able to put 10 of them in a row, 10 games in a row.
If it is one-loss Houston and undefeated Cincinnati in the American title game, that is must-see television. Hennigan launching for the sideline, and this is incomplete, overthrown after a collision as Rogers got up looking for a flag.
Guess who's in the area again?
Mr. Jones.
Number 8 again. I think I just find him pre-snap read and then go somewhere else.
Right?
The percentages have to be better.
Well, I mean, August and everything after has been his best time.
Well, now
it's all good.
Hey, you look at it. He was on the outside the last coverage, right? Now he's in over the slot.
Hennigan straight up forward through the pocket and incidental contact.
And I say that, Jason, because it's hard to avoid him. Yeah. Because he's so many plays. He may be on the right side of the formation, then he'll come left to outside at corner on the short side.
Hennigan to the sideline. That's also an intriguing part of Houston, Cincinnati, if it does happen. Sauce Gardner, Kobe Bryant,
that's a
Marcus
great
Jones
matchup.
to Marion Williams. Watch Jones tonight.
Talk about a guy that just knows how to play the game, how to read a receiver's body language, get himself involved, and then the interception that he had was just sick good.
30 seconds. One
hand cradling it in. He is a heck of a player. But you're right. You talk about some good secondary players in that game, guys that play on the back end. Sauce and Kobe Bryant.
These
dudes, good one.
And you think about Marcus Jones and his history. He's from Enterprise, Alabama. He went to Troy to start his college football career. He had 3 kickoff return touchdowns in 2017 at Troy. And he said, you know what, I want to go somewhere bigger. I want to test myself. He ends up here at Houston, and he's now tied for the NCAA career lead for return touchdowns with 9.
So he was on the right side of the defensive formation before, right? Now he's out wide left at corner. Shows you the versatility of Marcus Jones.
Well, you got to know every position, every place on the field as Memphis runs it here, and this is Weaver inside the 40 for a first down for the Tigers, who are trying to get bowl eligible, and they'll have one more crack at it. But the last time they didn't go to a bowl game and were under 500 was a long time ago. It was back in 2013. Second season under Justin Fuente, recently deposed Virginia Tech head coach. And Houston continues to fly to the football. Deontay Anderson lost his helmet on the tackle.
Boy, they are just all over the field. This defense built on speed, and it's certainly deep.
30 seconds.
Greg Belk told us about how he sends out the game plan during the, if it's Sunday night, or Sunday afternoon, the players have it by Sunday night, and then they're texting him about, with questions about what's going to be run that week, who's lining up where, and it gives you, the way he's done it in terms of installing the defense, it gives you tremendous depth because you can essentially take a secondary player and play him anywhere because they're all cross-trained to play across the board. It's an amazing deal that not a lot of teams have the luxury of being able to do that.
But you basically add players for yourself.
No doubt.
Because everybody knows what to do in every spot.
And so when injuries happen, you don't freeze up because a guy has played there, whether it's 6 snaps or 26 snaps.
It's like a utility player in baseball.
Yes,
you end up with a bunch of utility players, and that's not a derogatory term either.
It's a good problem or a good situation to have.
Do you all have a good baseball team down here in Houston? I hadn't heard anything about that in Chicago. Thank you. By the way, thank you for all those text messages during the White Sox-Astros series. I figured I'd mention that with about a minute to go. Very generous of you.
Looking out for you, man. Let you know what's going on here.
You've exceeded your data plan for the month. Hennigan to throw. He wants the sideline. And he's not going to get it because Mr. Jones ripped it off. Marcus Jones with the coup de grace tonight.
That's two tonight. Just a sick, good football player is what he is. He's just good. No any other adjective to use to describe Marcus Jones, but he's just good. And I think that's one of the highest compliments you can pay a guy is to say he's just a football player.
The guy's instincts.
I think he can play quarterback if you put him back there. Give him a week.
I bet you're right.
I bet you he could figure it out. It's fun watching him, I know that.
5 picks the last 4 weeks for Marcus Jones. 31-13. Houston puts away Memphis. The defense owned the second half for the Cougars and kept them in the lead. And this Houston team steamrolling toward the American Conference Championship to likely play against Cincinnati. And that is going to be a clash, Andre Ware.
It's going to be a good ball game, and I look forward to when that meeting happens. If Cincinnati's able to take care of business down the stretch.
You and I will have Cincinnati ECU next Friday. We'll see Cincinnati SMU tomorrow, and a big day of college football. Dana Holgorsen gets win 10 in a row for the Houston Cougars. (31-13) your final score. Downstairs, Cart.
Coach, you came out fast in the first half, but you were challenged in the second half. How did you grind this one out?
Yeah, we don't like just make things easy and put a couple of scores on to make it get it over with. We like to make things interesting. So we played terrible on offense and let them score a little bit, made things crazy. Too many penalties. You can complain about them all you want to. It's too undisciplined. That kept them in the game as well. But at the end of the day, defense stepped up, played really good. If they don't score, they don't win.
You're an offensive guy, but you see this defense every day in practice and then on the weekends during games. What makes this unit tick?
Well, Coach Belk's doing a great job. We've been working hard at it for 3 years. Offense, we've done a good job of not putting them in bad situations. We're controlling the clock. We didn't run the ball great tonight, but been controlling things, and that does a lot of things for your program. It does a lot for your football team, and it certainly does a lot for your defense. So just proud of this team and how they played good complementary football.
Last year, you're 3-5. Now you've won 10 in a row, and you're on an incredible streak here. What's impressed you the most about your team in terms of the way they've been able to turn things around?
Well, they've kept the faith. You know, we got great senior leadership. 19 seniors tonight played. Hopefully, it's not their last game here. We don't know what's going to happen with the conference championship yet. But last year, I thought we were close. You know, we lost a couple of close games. We got 8 games canceled. They knew we were better than what that record was and how we ended the year last year. And just had a really good offseason, really good August. Got on a roll, and here we are, 10 wins, undefeated in the conference. Couldn't be more proud of this group.
How would you describe your superstar, Marcus Jones?
He's incredible. He's just so talented in so many different ways. You know, I mean, he's a great defensive guy. He's been showing that in the last 6 games. He'd be our best offensive guy if I put him there full time. And then just one of the best returners that I've seen in the history of college football. So, and he's a pretty good artist as well. So he's just multi-talented, going to be successful for the rest of his life.
Well, Coach, you're doing a tremendous job. Enjoy this win.
Awesome. Thank you. Go Cougs.
A 4-8, 3-5, and now 10-1 for Dana Holgorsen. The turnaround is pretty well complete here in Houston. What do you make of this scene of this Cougars team right now, Andre?
Well, I think it's a talented team in all 3 phases. You talk about Marcus Jones in the return game. He certainly gives a spark there. He provides field position. Then the defensive side, they can shut teams down because they're so talented on the back end, and they get pressure with the front 4. Then offensively, they can score with just about anybody. They're going to be a tough out for whoever they face.
All right, so let's hypothetically say it's Houston and Cincinnati. How do you break that game down in the American Championship, if it is?
Well, you've got to be able to stop the run because Cincinnati's got a big physical offensive line with a quarterback that can certainly get it done in Desmond Ridder. That's going to be a tough football game and one I want to see. I'll be cozied up, but hopefully maybe we're doing it. You know, I'd love to be on the call for that one.
Quick lob to the assignment people before we get off the air. Nicely done by Andre.
Houston beats Memphis on a Friday night. For Paul Carcaterra, Andre Ware, our entire crew, Jason Benetti saying so long from Houston. 31-13, your final score. The Cougars win 10 in a row.